Hey everybody, the podcast episode is up now, but the first 5 minutes of Manny's audio, I forgot to click record and set his stuff up, but I fixed it pretty early on, so there's going to be a section in the beginning where I'm talking, and Manny was talking, but I'm just going to kind of edit it to skip the parts where Manny was talking and just have it be a seamless bit of me talking in the beginning and saying what I was saying. We were just talking about our life updates. Manny was saying how nothing happened with him, and I was just saying what was happening with me. So just bear through the first couple minutes of this without Manny talking. But when we get into the Flash, I don't miss most of the stuff that he's saying. So sorry about that. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoy. Ta-da! We did it. We're here after 4, 5, 6 months, 7 months, including December. It's been a long time, Manny. A super long time. Yeah, we haven't been talking in that time. How have you been doing? What have you been doing? Just watching anime, playing Rainbow. Oh, yeah. I stopped the pod because I was focusing on an editing project for a YouTube guy, and that took me almost this entire time, basically. And I finished it in May, and then my computer died, and then I had to get new everything. And now even though all this time has passed and my financial burden that I was in after my Canada trip, I'm kind of slowly coming almost out of it now. I'm in a new financial burden because I have to spend a lot of money on this computer stuff. So now I'm just oh God. So my current journey is making bread and trying to set myself up for the future properly. I will be going back to school in fall, hopefully. So with that said, the podcast is not back for anybody listening. It's just this one episode because Spider-Man was good and I wanted to talk about that. And because at the bare minimum, we should do this I don't know, once a year or something to catch up. So I was considering that for the sake of the quality of the episode, we start with Flash and Spider-Man, and then at the end, we'll talk about the things that are not very fresh in our minds, like Avatar or Belle, and we'll talk about the things that the extra things on top of that we watched that we want to bring up briefly. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, let's start with Flash because we saw that together. I didn't care to see it 2 weeks out. I know that for a long time I was yo, Ezra Miller, American Psycho in the movie. But then I just got to a point where everybody was kind of unanimous, this doesn't even look like it'll be funny. And I was okay. So I just kind of gave up. But you invited me to see it, and I was happy about that. And we watched it. And for me, it was very painful. I didn't think it was very funny, ironically or unironically. It wasn't even entertaining in its own way. I don't know. When I compare this to other boring DC movies like Aquaman, I like Aquaman more. Aquaman was cooler. Yeah. Well, outside of the ending or what it would conclude to, the experience of the film, because of Ezra Miller and all of the stuff surrounding him and all the canceled things, because they canceled the Batgirl movie, but they were insistent on making this one happen. We assumed that was going to be oh, this is going to reboot the DC in a canonical type of way that's going to make sense. But I also thought that the movie was kind of good because they were insistent on releasing it. I thought that Flash would be more drippy like he is in the Justice League show, and he was not going to be annoying and lame like he was in the movies, because I do not know how you can make a movie with him like the Justice League one, but they did it, and they didn't care, and he was annoying the whole time, and it was crazy. And they had two of them. And it was honestly torture. I think the most interesting thing about the movie was that there was an Animatrix poster in his room when he was when they were talking to each other. I think I saw that in the background. Yeah, that like woke me up from my slumber. I was like, oh, okay.
Happened, and then I knew Zod was coming.
Yeah,
and I was like, I like Zod.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw Zod, I was like, I was sitting there watching, I was like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Uh,
I kind of had that feeling too. I was like, oh, this will be very fan servicey and just give us like, the things that we like. And the fact that it like falls so short acts as if there wasn't really a lot there to begin with, which is kind of makes me like be like, oh my God. Like I thought they would like flesh out the things that were kind of ass in the previous movies to make it work in this one, but they didn't even really do that. I don't even know. It's just so dull. I don't even know what to say about it. I feel like the writing's on the wall.
Supergirl's cute.
Supergirl is cute, but she doesn't do anything. She's like, I thought she was gonna be in the movie more. She was gonna have more of like a impact narratively, but it really was just like, look, it's Superman, but it's a Supergirl, and that was literally like the whole appeal. Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, it was cool, but she had like no character. She didn't do anything, and
if was there to be like, oh,
mm-hmm.
She's a woman. Wait, y'all like that, right? She's a woman. Y'all like that? That's good, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's not even like.
To be honest, that's okay. If there was other things in the movie to kind of carry the film. I'm only saying that because the movie was like built around her. Like the movie was so boring even when Michael Keaton came in the mix. So when she came in the mix, I'm like, all right, maybe the movie will pick up speed. Maybe I'll like enjoy it more. But like even when she came, I was like, that's it? That's like the big thing you're saving for the end to make people like hyped. And she just kind of didn't really do anything. It was just Superman if she was a girl.
To fight a Superman villain in the Flash movie.
Yeah, I know.
And just for to lose as well.
To lose. In the stupidest way ever. I said this to you when we walked out, but it was kind of like when Goku got shot by the guy in Resurrection F, where it's like, you should have dodged that. She just got stabbed by Zod. Like, but you fell asleep, so you missed it. But you didn't miss much. I feel like that was honestly like the best part of the movie, just like that quick like 1-2 back and forth that they had, because it's like, oh, it reminds me of Superman, and it reminds me of something that I actually like, and not. Even though her character is flat, she is genuinely, even though she's like boring as hell, she's genuinely better than the Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's not hard to fucking do.
It's not. It's not.
Just show up.
Just attendance. Your grade will be higher. Offer it. But have you seen the Michael Keaton Batman movies?
No.
So the Michael Keaton Batman movies are very different tone, very different style. They are very, very goofy. So when you put Michael Keaton in a new Batman thing, that's like modern, like in a modern like setting with a modern tone, he's not going to be able to act like the way he did in the previous ones. A lot of like what I like about the old Batman is that it was kind of like old and cheesy and goofy, intentionally so. But he can't really be that in this, and he's just kind of, oh look, he's back, but he acts like normal, like Michael Keaton. It's very weird, and that wasn't as much of an issue with like Spider-Man No Way Home, because in No Way Home, those movies were recent enough to kind of be able to gel with that movie like better. But that, if you watch, like, I really like Batman Returns. That movie's like very unique, very weird, very out there. It's like there's serious Batman and then there's goofy Batman. That's like the only movie that I feel like is good and has goofy Batman. And he's not goofy Batman in this. And I don't know why anybody had any semblance of excitement for him, because he's like he's not surrounded by the style. He's not inhabited in the zone that he works in, that the character like flourishes in. So you might as well not even have him, and it might as well be anybody. It doesn't need to be Michael Keaton. You don't gain anything from it being Michael Keaton. It could be the same lines, and it could be fucking Henry Cavill or Robert Pattinson. It would be cooler if it was Robert Pattinson. Oh my God, I just thought about that. Yeah. If Robert Pattinson Batman popped up, I mean, now that I think about it, it would be like kind of tone shifty, but still, you know, that would be fan servicey in a way that like I wouldn't expect, you know?
That would be insane.
It would be insane. They should have showed him at the end in the montage.
Yeah, they should have.
Because they didn't give any fucks in that montage. They gave 0 fucks, which was it was a painful movie to sit through. It was very boring. It was very dull. But that last part was the ironic, like, this is so stupid, it's funny. That's what I wish like the whole movie had. Like that last like montage. That was hilarious.
You're talking about when they showed like Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It looked like a deep fake. All of their faces looked like deep fake.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was so good. So good.
I couldn't help but not like point at the screen. It's like,
whoa, look, it's Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, it was.
They should have showed Robert Pattinson though.
I know. Why not? You showed literally everyone else. You know, like the Batman. Have you seen like the funny like memes on the internet of like the Batman movie before the Michael Keaton Batman movie, where like it had no visual effects and it was like literally, I think Adam West Batman. I think it was Adam West. I think they showed Adam West Batman.
They did. Mm-hmm.
It's like,
so why not show it? Why don't you show respect to the current Batman?
Yeah, you know, people.
That'd been dope.
It would have been like fine, and it also would have been in a fan service like kind of way, more in line with like what we want. But I can't help but like want to stay on this movie because there are so many like things that are really weird and really like off to me. There was when Batman died, like when he had his first death in like the time loop thing, and he's just like I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna sacrifice myself, and he just like crashes into the thing in like the most anticlimactic like non-badass way. I'm like, what the fuck? I think
I was asleep for this part. I don't remember.
It was hilarious. So when they're doing like the time loop thing and like the characters keep dying and they keep going back in time and back 5 minutes. I think the first time it happened, Batman kamikazed his ship into the main bad guy ship after shooting it and knowing that there was like a force field, like a halo force field that you can't penetrate. He like just was like, I'm Batman. I was like, oh my God. It was so anticlimactic and so funny and so little thought was put into it. Because, you know, they're going to do the reverse thing. So it's not like a real Batman death because you're going to see him again in 5 minutes. But in the context of the universe, it is a real Batman death. So you should make it seem like you need to make Batman go out in a badass way, even if you're going to repeat that scene like 5 different times. Every single time needs to be badass because Batman would not go out like a bitch. And it was just hilarious to see him go out like a bitch. Like, just be like, ah!
Yeah, I must have been asleep for that.
Yeah. I wish I slept. I was like very tired and I was like getting a headache like watching the movie. I was like, oh my God. But and I don't know. There were some ironic parts that I really liked. I laughed. Like one part that really captured the ironic enjoyment that I wanted out of this was when like he lost his powers and then he was running around and he goes, "Oh no, I'm slow." And he like looked at the camera and said that. That's peak right there. That's amazing. I wish the entire movie was like that. And there's a handful of other scenes like that, and we could go on and we could talk about it, but what's the point? It's the Flash. Compared to the animated Flashpoint film, they should have seen that. They should have known that people are affiliated with that, and they should have known to try to meet that standard. And it's very embarrassing that they made like 0 attempt to meet that standard. Even if you're gonna, even if the visual effects are gonna be bad, even if, Ben Affleck Batman's gonna be there, all this stuff that people kind of disrespect, at the bare minimum, make it look like you're trying, you know? It's very clear that like there's zero effort being put into this, zero like, I don't know, passion to like make something worthwhile. It feels like this whole DC universe thing is just like the bar that it's setting for itself is like a whole rung below like the animated films that we're all familiar with, and the show. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't take notes. Go ahead.
It's if I feel like they make these movies. I have a strange feeling that they make these movies as if like these characters aren't loved. It's like they don't give a fuck.
They do.
Like, these aren't. It's like other than Batman, like everyone else is like they probably no one cares about Flash. We'll just wing this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I feel that's what I feel when I watch these like the shitty DC movies. Is like they don't care.
Right.
They can only give a damn about Batman.
Yeah, and I understand that with Marvel, because Marvel does have a lot of characters that even if the movie's shit, you'll kind of like it just because it's your favorite character or whatever. But like, no one's. I mean, your favorite character. You said your favorite superhero is Flash, right?
No, it's Batman.
Oh, it's Batman. Okay. But like, you know, some people like Flash, but like, not enough people like Flash to where if you make a movie on him, you're not going to include like Batman or Supergirl or something.
Right. He can't stand on his own.
Yeah. And when they can't stand on their own, you have to make a good movie. You have to try. And they kind of didn't. They kind of don't have that approach with like really anybody. Like the Aquaman movie is weirdly well executed in like the fight scenes because it's directed by someone who like is really good at that stuff. But like the story and the characters like ass as usual and like very mid. It's like, and they like remixed Aquaman for like a new generation. He's not like the Aquaman from the show. So it's like, you know, just like really no effort, really no heart, really no attempt to like create like an interesting character or like a good story. They just kind of want to leech off the Marvel stuff. And bottom line, I thought that this movie would be ironically enjoyable. And I thought it would be interesting to see how it ended. I thought it would be interesting to see how it concluded. And how it would spark the new DC EU thing that Mr. Gunn's got going on. And it didn't.
I know,
it
dude.
Didn't. It literally did not.
This is such an opportunity to really like to have like a kind of like a smart way to like branch off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's just like I have no idea what their plan is.
Their plan is to start a new universe, like unapologetically start a new universe without addressing this one that already
previous
shows.
shows.
Yeah.
This is so smart to just. It would make sense, you know.
It
Flash,
would make sense, yeah.
Flash fucks it up or does something.
I don't think anybody would be opposed to them just starting over without like it making sense. I don't know why there was an insistence on like, I understand that like the movie's done and they kind of have to finish it, but I don't know why there was an insistence on like having these stragglers, like, you know, still kicking around. Like just start working on the new one, you know? If we as a collective like audience and like viewership can allow like the Snyder Cut to get released and can allow the new Suicide Squad to come out, like if the companies can admit that the first one was bad and they're basically just redoing it, then you can just do that with the DC universe. You don't have to like, you know, clickbait people into like watching like a oh, the universe is gonna reset. Now that I'm really thinking about it, they must have known that anyone who was gonna watch this movie was gonna watch it based off of like the clickbait. Like maybe it's gonna reset. Maybe Michael Keaton's gonna stay as Batman. But like, you know,
it's a whole lot of clickbait.
Yeah,
just like the movie poster is clickbait. You think it's cool?
I know. You think it's dope.
Yeah, man. This is a lot of clickbait.
A lot of clickbait. I did.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
They just don't.
They don't care. They don't care. It's kind of nothing to really say.
And you know, I don't even. I love DC, but I don't even have hope for his future.
I really
Anything
don't.
not Batman, because it's like they're just trying to like catch up to Marvel so fast.
But Marvel's falling off, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. Personally, I'm kind of sick of the superhero stuff in general. I'm not sick of superhero movies. I'm sick of bad movies. And it's like, they will keep making bad movies. Like, I don't care if James Gunn is at the center. Shit's gonna be ass, bro. I'm calling it right now. I'm putting my money on the next 10 years of DC movies are not gonna be like anything to gawk at. You know, they're not all gonna be like above a 5 out of 10. So, you know, when the thing got announced that like James Gunn is like, I got a 10-year plan for my new DC universe, I was like, we're doing 10 more years of this? Can you imagine that like our lives are always going to be superhero movies? And that there's going to be like a good 50 years where it's like, these were the movies that were popular, just superheroes. That makes me sad. That makes me really sad.
Yeah. And then like when we're old, that's when they're going to get good.
That's when we're going to get good, when we can't go to the theater, when we're in a wheelchair. Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
They make like a good Flash movie. Yeah.
I'm like, Ali, did you see it? Like, huh?
What did you say?
I'm like, Ali, they fucking did it. They did it.
Oh man. God. No, and that's the other thing. The Blue Beetle movie? Like what is that? Is that part of the new one?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Why?
Is that part of the new or the old?
We don't know.
Is that going to kick off the universe?
I don't know. All I know is that Batman is a fascist. And George Lopez feels that way. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just use Batman's name and image, bro, just to clickbait, bro.
Because they have nothing else. People only like Batman.
But they literally like, yo, how do we add Batman into the Blue Beetle thing?
Yeah.
You got to put him in a trailer somehow.
Got to say Batman is a fascist,
bro. Man, it's funny because like the things we're gonna talk about later, like I'm gonna bring a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, in contrast to Spider-Man, maybe we should just segue into that.
Not even that.
Okay.
Not even that.
Like even even after that. Okay. All right, great. I'm excited for that. Yeah, let's not make this too long. This movie's boring. It's stupid. The ending was funny. Nicolas Cage like made me laugh. And I don't understand the George Clooney bit. I don't know what the fuck they were implying with that. Doesn't matter. 1 out of 10.
Oh.
I think that this is worse than like all the other ones. I know that like a lot of people hate like Batman v Superman and like Justice League. I genuinely think this is like worse than those.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Justice League.
Yeah.
But Batman vs Superman.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was pretty disrespectful.
At least Batman fucked up Superman for a little. That's enough for me to say it's better than Flash.
For me, I watched it when it came out, and like, you know, when I was young, I was disappointed because it didn't deliver on the Batman versus Superman. But I was happy to see Doomsday. I like Doomsday. I like Zack Snyder's like dramatic imagery and stuff. So I like the Doomsday part, and it might get like a 2 out of 10 just for that. You know,
isn't it insane that that's Batfleck's first movie?
I know. Why would you do that?
That's so insane. That's what I was saying earlier. Like they just want to catch up to Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, they're bringing everyone. Oh, we gotta.
Yeah. But now the Marvel movies like suck, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is DC's time.
I know.
They're fucking up too.
I think. But I don't know. What's your rating? Because I want to transition.
Like 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Yeah. Whatever. I think that Spider-Verse, for me, when I watched Spider-Verse, that was the reason why I didn't want to see Flash, because the approach that Spider-Verse had towards like the multiverse story kind of made me go, Flash is not gonna do this like well. Flash is gonna approach this in like a worse way somehow. And I kind of feel like every multiverse thing is gonna fuck it up. And when I watched Spider-Verse, I was like, I don't care about the MCU anymore, because I know that they're not really going to deliver on the multiverse idea as good as the way that this one did, and neither is Flash. And because every superhero thing is kind of like just in this multiverse arc that's going to take forever to finish, I'm like checked out of like every superhero related thing besides Spider-Verse. And I'm not going to lie, in Spider-Verse, I was, to an extent, like the movie was really good, but to an extent, I did like roll my eyes at certain like, hey, look at that thing. Like when I saw like the fan servicey parts. But we'll get more into that. Overall, the point that I'm trying to make is that Spider-Verse was, its approach and the thing that it did in its story was so creative and so good that it like just kind of fucks up anything else that's trying to do it and not meeting it on its level. And
yeah, this
killed
like,
multiverse like stuff.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Verse is like, it's like ReZero, and then like multiverse in general is like Isekai, and
yeah,
like,
that's a great comparison. That's a great comparison. Yeah. But
I got the great.
Yeah, you do. I miss this. Hopefully we'll be able to do this like, I don't know, more than like once a year.
I totally understand you when you're talking about like just being checked out in general. Because it's like they can't, writers just can't like, I can't write a story with this guy alone.
In the Marvel movies, the point of the multiverse, so far the only purpose it served is to be like, hey, look, it's X-Men. Hey, look, it's Spider-Man. Hey, look at that's all. That's the whole point. But in this movie, there's a point to it. There's like a genuine like purpose that like actually affects the grander universe, and you know, not to be like that annoying, like, oh, it connect to the MCU, but because they put like, you know, because you could kind of consider this canon, like within that stuff, it poses a lot of, it's kind of in essence like that. Like this is kind of MCU-ish, kinda, you know? And it kind of just makes me go like, well, whatever they got planned is not going to be as fun as this. So this is like, to me, this is like my ending to like the MCU. Like when, by the end of it, I was like, oh my God, like this is like the season, this is like the series finale. This is like the Attack on Titan finale of the MCU. Like Attack on Titan, like when that ends, that'll be like the end of an arc in my anime like life. You know, that'll be like 10 years in the making. And this is going to be like 10 years in the making, like when the next one drops. This was such a surreal and fun experience. I was very surprised and very impressed. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. I have criticisms, but you know, I have positives as well. But like, what do you want to say?
For the most part, it seems like Spider-Man always gets fan service done right.
Yes. Yeah.
Like for me personally, like DC thinks they're doing the same thing, but they're not. Like for me, when I saw like the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man in the movie, like I lost my mind. I was like, okay, they care.
Yeah.
They know a lot of people played that game.
Yeah.
They know people loved it.
Yeah.
And he's right there, and I see him. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And like he comes, like I see him, like he's like the first person you see.
Right. And one thing I want to compliment this movie on, I was really like afraid that it was going to be like, oh, I'm going to be looking in the background the whole time and not paying attention to the movie to see PS4 Spider-Man or to see like this Spider-Man. But I think like all the background Spider-Man were like random people that I don't know, that I think were basically just original for this movie that I wouldn't recognize or wouldn't care to look up. And anyone that was like a reference, like PS4 Spider-Man or like the live action ones, or they had a Spectacular Spider-Man. I don't know if you know what that is, but like he like popped up and he like had a line in the movie, and I think it was the same guy. And that was the deep cut for me that like actually got me. I was like, yo, that's sick. That's like, that's really cool. And I think there was Spider-Man Unlimited as well. That was like, he had like a cool like art style or whatever, like the red line art style of Spider-Man. And I really appreciate that they just put the references that they know people expect to see up in your face. And it was just like there. I respect that. And the reason why I think it's to an extent like kind of cringe and kind of annoying to like be getting references at all, contextually in the story, it makes sense because this is a very meta movie. It's talking about the other Spider-Man movies. It's talking about the other stories and how they all kind of weave into this one. And it's basically saying, like, does every Spider-Man narrative need to kind of have the same thing in order to make Spider-Man who he is? And this is like genuinely challenging every movie that came before. Whether they showed those references or not, that commentary would still be there. So yeah, you should show them, you know, you should show them and you should make it objectively canon to bolster the impact of what you're trying to say. So I think it kind of works in spite of like how cringy I felt like it was at first. By the end of it, I was like, wow, you really made that work. You really like successfully pulled that off. But yeah, go ahead. Give me a second.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking that too. Like when the Spider-Verse like opens, you get in there. I remember I was looking around, and I seen a whole bunch of. Like I'm familiar with Spider-Man.
Me too.
And I was looking around, and I was like, I know I'm not tripping. These are not like real.
Yeah.
I thought that was dope too. Like I saw a lot of like cool designs.
Yeah.
Like just original designs.
Some of them were original, like you know, the Metro Boomin one. You know, like yeah. Like I love that.
Like the one. The pink one.
Oh, they showed.
I was like,
was the pink one? I think that's Coy Leroy, or something.
No. It was just like this guy in the back. He was like half pink, half black.
Oh, okay.
He was like kind of big.
Yeah.
I was like, Like I just saw him. I was like, I know it's not real, but I was like, I would like to know about that.
Yeah. I love the fat Spider-Man. The fat Spider-Man that had me dying. Like the ones that are just like really big. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, but there's a lot of shots of that, and I think it's dope. But to me, like seeing the references made me care more because, like, even like, because I feel like it like kind of makes Miles' story even better because
it does.
No, Spectacular Spider-Man says like, like, Miles, it's the only way.
Yeah, I know,
and it makes you like
because
everyone that watched the show.
Right. You're not immediately against those other Spider-Man because it's the one that you know, because it's the one that you're familiar with, because it's the one that you care about. You connect with it like more so as a result. Absolutely right. Yeah. I was very happy to see that.
And it's like you see it and it's like you either want Miles to like prove that guy wrong.
Yeah.
Or it's like, damn. I fuck with Spectacular Spider-Man so much. He might have a point, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So it's really well done, and the fact that they brought the original voice actor, it shows like how they care.
They're doing a third season. They're like continuing it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's dope.
That is dope.
I did watch the show as a kid, so I might watch the third season.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, when it comes to the fan service, like that's how you do it.
That is how you do it. It has to have purpose. If it has purpose. It means more.
It shows that they care, effort, going out their way.
Yeah.
So that's kudos to them for that. And the whole thing, like like the major thing with Miles being an anomaly is like it's what makes the whole Spider-Verse thing like special compared to other multiverse things is that like he doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
And like that's the one thing that like it really puts the Spider-Verse ahead of like any multiverse thing that already happened or could happen. Like I don't see another twist in a multiverse story being as interesting as this.
Yes, exactly.
And the fact that the second movie hasn't even like came out yet, but the fact that him being an anomaly, is already clear as like anything I think they can do in the future.
Yeah, I think that that's like how better could you do it when you have like a multiverse story and you kind of say it's kind of like what Everything Everywhere also did, where it's like, well, every possibility doesn't work, so stop fucking trying, and then they somehow justify like the ending like working and stuff, and then it just kind of makes it work. And I'm only making this connection now. I didn't even like think about this before, but it's basically the same thing as The Matrix, and that's kind of why I love The Matrix so much, because in the second one they say you're not the one Neo. Don't act like it's your hot shit to like save the world. you didn't do it the last time, you're not going to do it this time. And then they like remix it to be like, nah, like I am going to do that. But, you know, they do that thing where like the ending kind of makes you go like, oh, I don't know. Like maybe the dude's right, you know? And the level of like thought and an insane cliffhanger like that, you have to have foresight if you're going to end your movie like that. If you're going to be thoughtful to even set up a story like that in the first place, I can't imagine that you're not going to have the payoff like at least like the ending itself work. So when we saw Flash, you expressed to me that they might fumble the bag on the next one, and maybe like the movie will be poorly paced, and maybe it'll have issues to where like, I don't know, I'll give it a lower rating than this one. But I think at the end of the day, in the same way with Matrix, even though like the third Matrix movie is like my least favorite one, I love the ending. Like I love how it ends and how they finish the story. And I don't think that the next one's going to disappoint in that regard, because if it will, then you shouldn't have even set it up like as crazy as this. Like you put a lot on your plate, you know, and you're not going to do that unless you know that you can finish your plate.
Right. Yeah. We shall see. But definitely not in March 2024, because that shit is not coming out. When the movie ended, I saw I like immediately looked up like, when's the next one dropping? And the next one, when I saw it March 2024, I kind of was like, yo, they already worked on it? It's almost done? Because that's the only way it's coming out next year. And then there's all this like stuff getting, I don't know if you've seen this, but like the voice actors were like, oh, we didn't even record our lines for the next one. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, that shit's not dropping. It's going to be like more than 2 years. Like definitely more than 2 years. Yeah. So that bums me out. And that makes me scared, because a lot of the people that were animating the movie, there's a lot of, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a lot of stuff coming out on like people being like, yeah. And the way they were saying, they were like, the guy who like writes the movie and like creates the movie, like Phil Lord, he's like really popular because he did like the Lego movie and stuff, and he's like doing the Spider-Verse stuff. They were saying that like, you know, they would finish a part and then he'd be like, nah, actually, let's change that. And that's like unacceptable in like a movie like this with like animation that takes like so long and stuff like that. And I was amazed to hear that. I was fucking amazed, because like you don't be hearing like anybody like do that really, unless like small things here and there. And that kind of gives me the impression that they might fumble the bag if they rush it. Like, I don't know why that release date is even set. Like, why would you even like, would you even set that release date? Are you going to rush people? Are you going to try to like blow this one out the door like as soon as possible? And yeah, it's they set that release date and you were like thinking, oh, it's already done.
Yeah, that's why I had so much confidence by the end of the movie. I'm like, all right, like maybe they already worked on it. If I know this is not how the film industry works, but like if I had an endless amount of money, or if it was like up to me and I was doing a 2-parter, I would do it like Matrix, where like I make 2 movies, but I make them at the same time, and I release them like really close to each other, like at less than a year apart. I would do that. You know, Lord of the Rings like was filmed as if it was like one movie. Like they did all 3 at the same time, like making them. Like they should do that with each thing.
I think that's better.
It's better because it makes it function better as a whole, and you know, marketing wise, it builds up hype better, because like when you finish one, everyone's like, oh, the next one comes out next year. Oh my God. Like, you know?
Yeah. It's like still fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
Even for the actors, I feel like
it'll be easier on them. It won't be like more pressure.
You don't have to take like 2 years off and come like bring the group back.
I know, right? Yeah.
Like you're already there. Like you're already in the zone, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it's Spider-Verse. Like if there's any movie that you have the liberty to do that with, it's definitely these 2. Like you should be able to do that with these 2.
Right.
And we're in this era where like movies like Avatar are taking like 20 fucking years to come out. I can wait 5 to 6 years for Spider-Verse. I don't care. Like just make it good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really a shame. I'm So now, because of that, I am worried for the next one. I am like cautiously optimistic. But yeah. But regardless of that, it does kind of put a sour taste in my mouth when I think about this movie that like people were like, you know, not really kind of abused in terms of like crunch and stuff, but it was still an amazing movie. Their efforts were not like completely in vain. It was awesome. It was the animation, you know, writing's on the wall. Everybody said this already, but holy fuck, I didn't think it could be better, but it was. It was incredible. It was fucking incredible. Was this the best animated movie you've ever seen, like animation wise?
Oh,
I don't know either.
I'd have to watch Redline again.
Yeah. Good answer.
This movie. Yeah, this movie is great. Yeah. It looks amazing, right? Mm-hmm. Especially how Hobie is just like animated completely different from everyone.
Yeah, I know. They they went very hard on him. I saw like an animation thing talking about like how in the first one they were like, oh, Miles is animated on 2s and Peter is animated on thing. They were talking about how like Hobie's guitar
on 3s.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? That's sick. That's so cool.
That's effort, man.
Yeah, that's effort. That's thought. That's like pushing the needle, pushing the envelope. And what I kind of went into this with like whatever impressions, because the Puss in Boots movie, I don't know if you've like even seen like a clip, but it's like a Spider-Verse like art style. Like it looks like Spider-Verse, and it looks like kind of better than the first one. You know, they in Puss in Boots, like they do kind of bring it like to another level. So I went into this one thinking like, all right, it'll probably be on the, like the level of Puss in Boots. It's better than Puss in Boots. Like it looks like amazing. It looks really good. So it's really cool that they're like still kind of at the top of the game. Like they started this new trend. Did you see the trailer for like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one?
No.
But that one's coming out like in August. That's like a month away. There's going to be a TMNT one with like this art style. So everyone's kind of mimicking this, and it's kind of like, you know, from an audience perspective, like who has the one that looks the best? And it's this one. This one looks amazing. Yeah, I love it. Man, there's so much to say. So many parts.
Yeah. I really like the spot. I really like when non-main villains get spotlight.
Yes.
I feel like everyone's gonna walk away from like even this one or like the next one and think of Spot as like a major villain, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I always like when they bring up villains to like the standard of like his major ones. Spot comes in.
Yeah.
You know, he's really funny. You know, he's really goofy. No one takes him serious, but then like you just see him spiraling. Yeah. When I saw him, I thought of Full Metal Alchemist.
Which guy in Full Metal Alchemist?
The Truth.
Yeah, like yeah. He does.
I looked at my boy. I was like, this is Full Metal Alchemist.
Someone should edit like Alphonse like in the thing, like in the final zone, and the Spot like when the bread like slips out of his tummy, just being like, "It's over, Alphonse."
He also looked like the Gurren Lagann guy too.
Yeah,
the anti-spiral.
Mm-hmm. It had like the same kind of animation style, and like, you know, the his power is similar, kind of.
Yeah, his power is dope.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I really liked him, and then even when he was in his goofy mode, and like Miles is fighting him, I was like, even though like I wasn't taking him serious, I was like, damn, how is Miles gonna beat this guy?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even see Miles beating him like in this normal form. I don't even imagine how his final form is gonna be like, you know. And then he had like the second fight, not even the second fight, but like pretty much the second fight when his dad is there.
Yeah.
They had that funny scene with him, like instead of jumping in the forward, he walks down the stairs.
Yeah.
No, he was really good.
It was great. He was awesome.
Plus, what he was doing in the Indian guy.
Yeah, that section of the movie was like one of my favorites. I loved the Indian Spider-Man. That to me was when the movie like the jokes worked the best for me. There were a lot of times where I was not fucking with the jokes. There was a lot that didn't land, and then there were some that had me like busting out laughing. Like the Indian guy's intro had me dying when he was like, when like, you know, Miles is like kind of getting embarrassed like at this other Spider-Man. And he's like, I wake up and I'm just so naturally buff, but I don't want to get too buff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, holy shit. That's like hilarious.
Yeah. And like she's like his web slinger is like a yo-yo.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's
that's so
fucking
fire.
sick, yeah. I really like Hobie. I love that he's black. I love when he took off the mask. I'm like, niggas. I was so happy.
Fucking.
They make these movies for us, bro.
He had to be black.
He had to be black. They ain't know you gonna be like, you ain't gonna be revolutionary as fucking like against the grain if you're not dark skinned.
Yeah,
that shit was
if
so good.
A regular UK guy, like
did you have a problem?
But he's dope. Like he's like him and Miguel, like the highlights.
Yeah.
Hobie doesn't really do much, but it's like he's such like a presence. Like, oh my god! Well, he does a lot.
Bro, his final moment. I love that he left the movie. I love he says like, all right, nigga, I did my job. He's like, that's so like Lupin. Like that's such like a Cowboy Bebop. Like, yep, I'm out. I'm not gonna see how this ends. My part is done. I love the part where he's like,
Miles is black and he's black, and it's like when Miles finds out he's black, he's like, fuck. It's kind of like, fuck, he's black too.
Does he actually do that? Does he actually say that?
No, but it's like, I know, like, I would be like, fuck, this guy's he's black.
Yeah. Have you seen
I had one thing over him.
I didn't want to, like, spoil anything before we, like, had our talk, but have you seen the memes of, like, Miles, like when I was kind of laughing with like Spider-Man 2099 was like, you're an anomaly, you're not supposed to exist, you weren't supposed to be Spider-Man, and like I was just thinking like, oh, he's not supposed to be Spider-Man because he's black, and like I immediately saw a meme on YouTube being like like with someone like you know, eating the mic like, you're not supposed to be Spider-Man, you're black. I was like, this is great. I love this meme. Very funny.
There's a lot of like it means that like Hobie fucking Gwen and shit.
I haven't seen that. That's hilarious. That's really funny. That's funny.
Poor Miles.
Poor Miles. That's okay. He got the bag by the end of it.
I would have found a different Gwen.
She backdoored him. She backdoored him too.
Yeah, bro. In that multiverse, there has to be a different Gwen. So.
No, but that's your Gwen, you know.
Yeah, my Gwen fucked Hobie. I can't fucking do better for her.
Was that the implication that she did, like in spite of? Oh yeah.
It's a kid's movie. Though.
I know, but there were some. I don't know, kind of, but kind of not. There were some edges.
Yeah, not to that extent.
No, but there were a lot of like lines like, "Oh, you left your shoes at my place" or something. I was wondering if there was like something like that I missed. I think
we made it that because it's funny, but like I don't think there was like people are gonna think he smashed. Yeah. Because Gwen is like what 16?
Are they?
Not Hobie. Like I think Gwen is like 16.
Oh, interesting. They don't want to get too anime. They'll get canceled.
This isn't Jobless Reincarnation. Which comes back next season.
Yep.
But yeah,
not yet.
You know, Hobie's amazing.
Yeah. Did you have a problem hearing his dialogue? Did you have a problem with like the audio mixing? That's like one of the complaints.
Yeah, I read about that.
Yeah. I immediately noticed it and I immediately felt it while I was watching the movie. And I kind of walked out like maybe it was a theater specific issue. Maybe it was the movie. And if it was the movie, it was so bad that I was like, they will fix it when it comes out on digital. Like they have to. Because like I couldn't understand anything he was saying. And they
like when he like reveals that he's black, I don't think I really heard what he was saying.
I didn't hear anything he was saying. Yeah. There were a lot of key dialogue moments where I just straight up missed what they were saying. Because the music and stuff was too loud. Very surprising because like it seems like the movie is so perfectionist in like the animation and the way it's directed, and then for something so important to kind of slip up like that. So I think that they did finish it. I don't think that the person like doing the audio mixing like fucked up, because any person that does that as a job would know that that's like unacceptable. I think it was just an accident and they like sent the wrong one out or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else? What else did I say?
Miguel's fucking up. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Because I played the Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions game.
Me too. That's what I know him from. So I really love that he's like even in it at all, because I love 2099. His design is sick. His world, insane. His world is awesome. And I love his story. And I
love that he's like the captain.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like he's the guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's Miguel. Miguel's like Batman over there.
Yeah, basically running the Justice League, holding it down.
Yeah.
So cool.
He is so like Batman. Like not laughing, nothing's funny.
There were a lot of jokes in his intro scene that I didn't like because it felt like, oh shit, Miguel's here, scary tone, and then they would be cracking jokes. That's like one of my criticisms. I did not find the movie funny sometimes. It's not that the movie wasn't funny or that the jokes were bad. I mean, some of them were bad, but like there were a lot of jokes that were good. I just felt like they were really weirdly timed. Like even when he's getting chased, I'm like, I don't know if it's appropriate to like show a part where he like rides on the cowboy, because this is like a really important, this is like a high stakes, like it's like a big deal what's going on. I think the first movie had jokes during serious parts, but the jokes were not trying to take away from the dramatic nature of like what was happening. Like one joke in the first, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
One joke in the first one when like, I just like watched a clip from the first one, but like, you know, Peter Porker, he's like an inherently like funny character whenever he's on screen. You know, there's a part where he's like, you don't like cartoons? And then he like beats the fuck out of like one of the final guys. And then when he leaves, when he like goes in the portal, he's like, that's all folks. But like, it doesn't take away from the dramatic like nature. See, it's hilarious. Like, it's really funny. But like, I'm not sitting there going like, oh no. I'm not sitting there not saying, oh no, he's leaving. Like, I'm still saying that in spite of like laughing at the same time, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And the first movie strike that balance very well, where it felt like the jokes and the stuff. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I felt like it was on point, and I did not feel like the movie was on point with this one.
Yeah, I feel like the Peter Parker that had a kid, when Miguel was, when they showed Miguel that he came, I didn't think they kind of like stretched like the whole baby thing. I was kind of like, all right. I don't know. That's how I felt.
I think that it's been a long time since I've seen the first one, but I do recall he was like the other main character of like the first one. So I understand that. I feel like they kind of needed to show him, because that was like his only like part in the movie, like that one part. So I kind of give it a pass, but I also felt the same way. I'm like, this bit is like annoying.
Yeah, because what's going on is not funny. Like Miguel's like,
it's cute that he has a kid, but it's like, it's not. I wish that you didn't like make that the point for like 2 minutes straight. Yeah.
Like everything he said was like about his kid.
Yeah.
Like he's like everything he said was about him having a kid.
Yeah.
But like, that's why I say Miguel's like Batman, because he's like, this dude's like firing jokes, and Miguel's like, yeah, bro. It's like, I'm gonna tell you later, like after.
Yeah.
But Miguel's phone, and then like, he knows that like Miles is like fucked up in India, because like the canon event shit. So he knows like this is like, it's serious, and then like this is like my daughter, and I was like, all right. But yeah, other than that, Miguel's great. I like how big he is. He has a little things on his.
I love that too.
And when he's chasing when he's chasing Miles, it's like it's like an extra. Oh shit! It's Miguel.
Yeah.
Anyone else is like, oh, it's Spider-Man. With him.
Yeah.
It's Miguel. Man, it's dope though.
Yeah,
I love it. His voice actor too.
Yeah, who is it? I need to look.
He's really popular. I forgot his name though.
Yeah, I'll look it up. But one thing I wanted to ask about was the music. I loved it, and I felt like it was very beautifully integrated into this film. One of my biggest pet peeves with big, Hollywood movies that have hip hop like soundtracks, they don't put it in the movie. Right. The Kendrick Lamar album. Kendrick Lamar made an album for your movie, and like none of his songs were really in the movie. Or incorporated like into the thing. And that's such a fucking waste. But this one, it felt like they were incorporated, and they were all like perfect for the scenes. Like the scene where he's like swinging around with Gwen is enhanced by the song. Like the song like works so well with it. And maybe a lot of that has to do with the fact that, number one, there was very clearly coordination. I think like he said, hey, this is the Gwen and Miles scene. Write a song for this. Here's what it's going to look like. I think they had to have done that because it like worked way too well. But also because it was Metro Booming kind of overseeing like the whole thing. And it was kind of like a one vision, like I'm going to kind of do the score. I mean, not the score, but like the soundtrack is going to be under like this one umbrella. Unlike the first one where it was like individual artists doing their own thing, and they kind of had to like maybe wedge that into the movie. Not to say that I didn't like the music in the first one, but I think it was more effective in this than even the first one. It was great.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I did like it.
Yeah.
I did. So I remember there's another scene I really liked the music.
I was thinking of one that I've been listening to is like, I think it's when he like leaves the 2099 universe, and like I believe they play Annihilate like when that happens. I believe they play a song. That's like the one that like sits with me. I don't know if that, I was trying to remind you of whatever you were thinking of.
No, I don't even remember.
Okay. Well, that's just one thing I wanted to mention because I loved that aspect. And were you in like a crowded theater or anything?
Yeah.
You were. How did people react at the end? No reaction? No audible reaction?
Only a few.
Oh, okay. Did people go, no, what the fuck, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. A lot of people on the internet are saying that their experience was like that, where everyone in the theater was like, what? No, what? Oh my God, seriously? I didn't feel that way.
Well, I knew because
I felt it kind of inside, like, damn, like I'm gonna have to wait. I did kind of feel that, but I didn't make an audible, like, like I was 2 hours into the movie at that point. I knew it wasn't gonna wrap up. It was very clear that it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like I knew, like they couldn't go and fight Spot within the time.
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna wrap up soon.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like, I don't know. I guess those people are like so like.
I always knew they were going to make a third one, so I was like, I kind of was like, okay. It did end in a way that doesn't feel like it completed the story, though. I know that we will watch movies and there's a lot of two-parters, or there's a lot of like movies that are one story, where like, the sequel continues it. But there's a difference between like a movie like Kill Bill Volume 1, where like it has a start and it has an end. And even though the end isn't the end of like the whole story, it's the end of the arc. I don't feel like we even got the end of the arc in this movie. Yeah. And that does make it feel kind of weird when you're watching it. I will admit that. And I think that this is one of those scenarios where if we lived in a society where making a 4-hour movie was acceptable, society, I'm sorry, where if we lived in a world where a 4-hour movie was okay, I think they would have just combined them. I think they just would have like made it one. But yeah, so that is kind of weird, but the cliffhanger is sick and it's cool. and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It adds a whole new twist to the whole multiverse thing.
yeah, yeah.
It really like, and it really like enforces the fact that like he wasn't supposed to be Miles. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Well,
So
I
what's the implication in that universe? Like, because the spider was from that one. So
mhm.
was the spider supposed to bite that Miles, or was it supposed to bite his uncle? Or
Not
hmm?
wasn't it supposed to bite Peter?
Oh yeah, Peter. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, now I'm only just connecting those dots now. Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Cool.
So not no Peter. He's the Prowler.
Oh, sick.
I guess they're also saying like if that fucked up universe went according to plan,
Yeah.
like the spider didn't jump, then our Miles would become the Prowler as well. What I mean? So
Yeah.
so he's supposed to become a villain, became an anomaly, became Miles.
You think
It's dope.
so? Because
I think
his uncle was the Prowler in his universe. You know? Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe
shit would
he's
have
like
sucked for
maybe
him
he's
either
like
way. His uncle would have
the
died. You
Probably
know?
the Prowler sidekick.
Yeah.
Wait,
Probably. He
um,
probably would have taken the name of the Prowler if he wasn't like a Spider-Man. He probably would have just filled those shoes and seeked vengeance like Osborn or something. I don't know.
because if Miles doesn't get the bite, I think it's implied that like the Peter from our Peter
Yeah.
wouldn't have died, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So if Peter doesn't die, I don't know how he would become.
Right.
Well, you know how that scene they have when like they first meet and he gets the bite and they do this little Spidey sense, but his is like green and purple,
Mm-hmm.
and then it turns red and blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess he would have became the Prowler. I think that scene kind of tells you,
That's
but like their
interesting.
fate changed once they met.
Yeah. That,
So
that's a cool way of seeing it. I I'll have that as my head canon as well till
yeah.
the next one comes out. But yeah, I also like the spot. I loved Gwen's universe. Every time they went to Gwen's universe, I was like, this movie, not the animation is good, but the animation is good in service of the story. Like it's made for to, enhance whatever it's trying to do. Gwen's universe and the art style of that and like the colors of it was amazing. And I was just like, other animated movies need to start being on this type of wave because everything's ass compared to this. Like I need things to kind of, start putting in the Spider-Verse like kind of approach where the animation is in service of the emotions and the characters, like what it's trying to make me feel outside of like, oh, it looks like a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
Loved that. Loved that a lot. I think we covered mostly everything. I like Spider T-Rex. That made me like laugh out loud. That was awesome.
The chase had a lot of great moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
The chase was dope. Even like the when he was like I love the spider cowboy. I thought
Yeah.
he looked so cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I instantly thought of Arthur Morgan. I was like, oh, this is the universe where Arthur is Spider. Okay.
That's funny. Yeah.
But like when they're chasing him, he gets on a horse and he's like wants to do like the western like
Mm-hmm.
standoff, and he just like webs him instantly.
Yeah.
That's funny. There's like the T Rex, even when like the old Spider Man was like swinging, but he was like really like slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. The chase had a lot of good moments.
Yeah, I did.
Even like like that moment when he was like telling Miguel, he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No.
That is something I remember, you know.
Yeah, that's something I'll never forget. It's a black thing. It's like, oh, I love it. I love it. I love how they are really making movies for us. Metro Boomin is doing like fucking soundtracks. Fucking black people are like, no, like, bust. Oh, it's so fucking sick.
Yeah,
it's so dope. Fucking sick. I love it. I will also never forget that. That's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Yeah, I think that's.
I like that he's mad at Gwen. I love that he's mad at Gwen.
Mm-hmm. She backdoored me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you started like questioning even the other Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you guys knew.
Yeah.
You say nothing.
Mm-hmm. Very challenging, just like Matrix. It challenges the first one. Challenges it.
Yeah, I like that. I love that he's mad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't, that would have got me mad.
Yeah, I know. Man, I love it. I love when movies are very culturally in line with kind of the sensibilities of people nowadays. It makes it feel more realistic. It makes it feel less formulaic. And we haven't gotten this really ever in like a mainstream like big up Hollywood superhero thing. Even outside of superheroes, like we don't get like shit like this. So this is really nice and I really like it. And I guess my last question for you is, what did you think of how do you think rating wise this compares to the first one? Because there are a lot of elements of it that are undeniably better, but there's a lot that is undeniably holding it back as well. But it's one of those things where there are 10 out of 10 elements to it, but as a whole, does it kind of, come together to be on the same level as the first one? Do you have a rating for the first one?
I can give it an 8.
I also gave it an 8.
The thing is just that the fact it's hard to rate. It's because like how it ended.
Yes, I know.
I feel like a more appropriate rating would make sense with like the second movie.
Yeah, the rating, the second movie will affect the rating of this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and the only other movie I felt this way with was like, I know I said I like kind of didn't really watch Dune, but that's like a collective opinion of a lot of people with Dune. They were like, oh, like the movie just kind of stopped, and like we didn't get to see like the continuation of it. And I do think that, when I'm judging a movie on its own, like Lord of the Rings, like I think that like the YouTuber I watch, like I really agree with this perspective that he had. He was saying like if Kill Bill Volume 1 got made and they never made Volume 2, like Volume 1 would still be a 10. Like Volume 1 doesn't depend on the second one being good. And the same goes for Lord of the Rings. Like the first Lord of the Rings movie is like a masterpiece, and it doesn't have like that kind of like, oh, we didn't get to finish the story, because the arc finished, It was like an anime arc like that, like concluded.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that if you're, trying to make your movie feel whole and feel complete, you should try to have like a beginning, middle, and end. And I do think that pulls from this a little bit. So
it does. I think, especially because I just watched, as you know, I watched the Star Wars.
Yeah,
and even those, like I saw those as like, I know there's a trilogy, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still see that like one episode that's really like its own thing, and I can rate it alone without the influence of the next or the previous prior,
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I don't know. I don't think I can.
Okay.
It's just the way like Star Wars, how each one ends. It's like it's really its own thing. Right?
Yeah.
With this one, it's just
it's
just a two-parter.
I see. So will you rate them as one, or will you rate them individually, like after the fact?
I think I'll rate them as one, especially because I have a gut feeling that the next one is probably gonna fumble.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but
yeah.
I don't think I can really rate this one.
Okay. Say again?
without like the knowledge of the next one.
Yeah. I'm gonna rate it for now. I think that I think honestly, even if the next one fumbles, it's gonna have to fumble pretty bad for me to like dislike this movie. And I really don't think it
like,
will.
To dislike it, it would have to be an unrealistic fumble.
Yeah. For the honestly, even for like the rating, maybe the rating would go down 1 point, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. Like
but
one at most.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give it a 7. I gave the first one an 8. There were more things besides the ending that I didn't like. I didn't like the jokes. It was kind of just the jokes, and the audio mixing like did detract from my rating because I was like, is that permanent? Is that gonna stay there? So the audio, the jokes, and the ending, and I think the jokes and the ending are enough to kind of give it a 7 because it does feel very off for me as a result. And then, little things like Peter kind of not being in it as much. Like even if the jokes weren't there, he just isn't really in it as much. But I understand that this movie kind of has its priorities in other places, so I don't really hold that against it. I still really love it. I still really connect with it. And I am looking forward to the next one. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it delivers. But
yeah,
gotta be good. Yeah. So, have you seen the Lego Movie?
No.
The Lego Movie is like done by like the same guys who like did this. Like this Spider-Verse kind of only exists because like the Lego Movie was like so good and they kind of got like all that clout from that. I really like that movie. I know it's like a kid's movie, but it rocks. It's like Spider-Verse before Spider-Verse. It's like something that looks different and looks good and like kind of has like a like story that you actually connect with in spite of like how stupid it might seem on the surface.
Yeah. I mean, Lego always delivers. Like the Lego games, like the Batman games or the Batman movies. Like, really good.
Oh, you've seen the Lego Batman movie?
I haven't like seen it, but like I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen like all the clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
I watched like all the like long analysis on it too.
Analysis on the Lego Batman movie?
Yeah.
That's cool. I love that movie.
How like I think Nerdstalgic did a bit of how it's like a faithful adaptation.
It is. It's very good. Yeah. I know people are always like ranking the Jokers, and like I think Zach Galifianakis from Hangover is amazing as Joker in that one. It's really good. I really like that movie. But maybe one day we'll talk about it. But yeah, that is Spider-Verse. Let me just make a break in the recording. All right. So now, before we like made our little like cancellation postponement, we were gonna do an episode on Avatar and Belle, and since then, I have seen Belle, and we watched Avatar together, and we just kind of never got the opportunity to talk about it. So the reason why I saved it for afterwards, in spite of us seeing that first, is because I feel like it's been a while. We won't have as much to say. Doesn't have to be a big discussion, but I want to kind of get our thoughts out on that very briefly. Or do you want to talk about Avatar within the other stuff that you like watched, like your whole list of things, or
I'm just going to go over it really quick.
Yeah, go ahead. If you don't,
Avatar I really liked it.
Say again.
I really liked Avatar. It looked great.
Yay!
That's all you're really here for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it look good?
I wanted it to look amazing. I wanted revolutionary visual effects that were going to kind of change the way I see visual effects in the same way that the last one did. I didn't feel that way with the last one because I was too young to kind of appreciate that at all. This one, I actually kind of have the eye for it now. Like, even when I was in high school, like, if you told me, like, oh, the visual effects in this are revolutionary, I'm like, it looks the same as a Marvel movie. What are you talking about? But in this one, I literally, like, you weren't looking at me, like, while I was watching the movie. We were sitting next to each other, but my jaw was like this for, like, the underwater segments. I was like,
I know, dude.
It was so good. It came out on Max. It came out on Max and Disney Plus. and I rewatched it. I got a new TV, and I got an actual like 4K thing now. So I watched it the way that Mr. Cameron intended for me to watch it. And I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I really like this movie. It feels very JoJo. I love that the main bad guy came back. I love that it's like contrived and like you weren't expecting it at all, and it's like stupid and but it's like taking itself like uber seriously. And I love how Cosmonaut put it. Jake Sully is an anime protagonist, I fight for my family. Yeah.
The water looked incredible.
It looked incredible. Yeah.
And gotta say thanks to you for having us watch in 3D.
Yay! I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
It was like breathtaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It made me want to jump in the pool.
Me too. I like wanted to take a swim after watching that movie. I really connected with it beyond like visual effects looking good and it being like a spectacle. Like it made me. I feel like the whole point of Avatar is to kind of appreciate nature and appreciate life through this like fictional world. And I really did through like this water tribe and the whale and stuff. Like I really did connect with it, and it was really cool. And it's just, I don't know. It's kind of like when you go on vacation and you like go to a beach for like the first time in like a really long time or something. It kind of gives me that feeling where like just looking outside and just seeing the sun like beam on like the trees and stuff. That's kind of like, if I had to kind of give an analogy, I know that's like the most broad thing that like everyone can experience, but I don't go outside that much. So, this movie was kind of like such a pleasant experience. It kind of just made me really happy to be alive and,
it's great.
Be able to feel the water.
I think everyone should watch it.
I think everyone should watch it. I love Jake Sully's kids. I think it's so wholesome that he's got like a little family, and I love that the story is basically centered around his kids. I don't know if you've seen the cover for the Blu-ray. Oh, Manny, you're a cover guy? The cover for the Blu-ray is so fire. It's like, I'm going to try to send it like right now, but it's like, no, I'm just going to explain it. It's like the Blu-ray, like a Blu-ray cover is like, like this size. But the bars like up here and up here, it's like blocking it, and it's just like a landscape photo of him and his kids, like just not actually he's not in it. Jake Sully's not on the cover. It's his kids like playing in the water. I'm like, oh my god, that's so fire. That's so good.
I see it.
It's so good. It's like I gotta buy that. Oh my god, it's amazing. It's like an incredible cover.
Yeah.
I
like that one of his kids died. I like that they actually pulled that off.
Yeah. It's cool.
And it's like, even though like we just met him this movie.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That shit hurt.
It did. That's Jake Sully's kids.
Something like this, you was expecting. Well, he got shot. Oh, but they'll save him.
Yeah.
But bro just died.
Mm-hmm. And I really like
that shit did hurt.
I really like it. Feels appropriate because it feels like the point of Avatar and the point of like this franchise is to kind of just be about valuing life in spite of the hardships that come, and like not just fight for the things that you care about, but to appreciate them while they're there. So I think it's really appropriate for like one of the kids to die. I actually think that that's like the ending they needed to do for a story like this, especially since the movie is kind of the same plot as the first one. Like, how are you going to bolster that? How are you going to make it like more important? In the first one, it was like the father of Neytiri like dying, or the mother. I don't even remember exactly, but that was kind of like the big death in the first one. And Sigourney Weaver. Like those were the two things that you were supposed to care about. And in this one, I'm really happy that it was the kid. Because it's Jake Sully's boy, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And it was dope. I really love the Sigourney Weaver like teenage girl like idea of like she got reincarnated kind of like through this like new person that like doesn't have the memories of her, but you know, clearly like there's some DNA like syncing going on. I think that's fucking sick, and I'm so excited to see whatever she does. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm also excited.
Yeah.
If I was them, I'll stay in that water town.
I think the idea was that well, how did it end exactly? It's been a long time, but I think they justified. I think there was like a narrative reason why they were like, we're gonna bounce and we're gonna like hop around or whatever. Maybe they're trying to gather their army.
I think just because that guy is chasing them.
Yeah, and like everybody was like mad about that, but I think that's sick as fuck. I think it's sick as fuck for you to like just do the same shit like each movie. To me, that's like really nostalgic of like not only anime but like when I'm reading like a book series and it's kind of like the same thing over and over again. Like have you heard of like a series of unfortunate events, like the book series? I love that series because like it's all canon and they're all like they do take place in like an order, but it is literally the same thing over and over again, but just like a different setting, different place, you know? And I don't know, there's something about like a story with stakes and like real peril that's happening, but it just keeps going. And it just keeps going and going and going with like new settings, new places, new people, without like necessarily doing like a different thing each time. There's a weird charm to that I kind of love because they know that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, you know, just do the thing that you know works kind of thing.
All that matters at that point is just like execution, you know?
Yeah. And the things that are like expanding the story, like I love the melodrama with like, you know, his son being like human and like him being like technically a new guy, not like the old guy, and like being in a Na'vi body. You know, that's beautiful. Like he's in a Na'vi body, but like he's in his old ways, but he can't deny like his love for his son, which ties into Jake Sully's love for his son, you know, and like I don't know, I love that melodrama. It's, you know, it feels very anime. Just like the story telling itself without characters having to talk. Like just the nature of like the situation, the themes are like, you know, breathing through that, you know. Wasn't a perfect movie because the kid sucked. His acting was bad, but the positives of it kind of outweighed that. I kind of accepted like shit like that. Like I didn't really care. Yeah. I think I said this like when we watched it, but I was like, this is like the best like mid movie ever. Like it's the best like movie that has like just a normal story, normal shit that you'd expect. But it's just like, it's rendered in like the most beautiful, realistic way possible, to the extent that it hits a part of my brain that kind of not a lot of movies are able to hit. And I know that this might, I don't know, it might remove my movie critic card by saying this, but if everything looked like this, I would like love it, and like I would give it like free points just off of that, on just like the way that it looks. And that's kind of how I feel. The story can like, you know, fall back, or you know, it can have like bad acting, but it genuinely like is carried by the visuals, and not carried 100%. You know, the story is like good enough to where like I feel comfortable giving it a 7 out of 10. You know, without feeling like I'm giving like trash movie that. But like what I'm trying to say is that if this looked like a Marvel movie, it would be like a 5, but it's like a 7 because of the way that it looks and the way that it's like directed and stuff, you know, and the story, the water, the melodrama, the whole point of the thing. It all ties together very beautifully. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. It's been a long time, even though I just rewatched it. But great movie. I heard the new one got delayed. I don't even know when it was going to come out, but it might be another decade. Might be another decade before we get the next one.
I'll be there.
I'll be there too. I hope he's going to die before he finishes them. Like he will die, James Cameron. Yeah. He's 68. And that makes me sad. But I'll savor it while it lasts. That's kind of the thing, you know? It's kind of like, I don't need to see the end. I don't care that much about where it ends. I just kind of care about seeing my. It's like Dragon Ball, you know, like Dragon Ball doesn't have an ending, you know,
Right.
So I'm just gonna see my characters. I'm just gonna see them have fun, bro. If by like the 7th movie, like the bad guy like teams up with Jake Sully and they're like fighting like a bigger bad guy, that'll be so anime. That'll be so anime. But yeah,
It's Frieza.
Yeah, Frieza comes in, supernova. Yeah, die, Jake Sully. You fucking monkey.
Yeah, I give it a 6.
Yeah, it's a decent score for it. I'm gonna give it a 7. Maybe it'll go down to a 6 on like further rewatches. Maybe the luster will wear off, but yeah, loved it. Very, very wonderful. And yeah, do you want to talk about Belle? Because I had the opportunity to see Belle. I saw it in March, so it's a little fresher in my head, and I had a lot to say about it. I started Belle. The reason why we never did that other episode was because I watched it on my computer. I think I told you, I watched like 30 minutes of it, and I was like, this is a movie I really wish I could watch in a theater. Like, I'm really upset that I have to like watch this on like my computer. And then I just turned it off. And then they were playing it in a theater for one day at like my local like art house theater that I like to go to. So I watched it there, and I had a wonderful experience because I was high. I got high before, but you know, I still remember it. Like it didn't like escape my brain. It just enhanced the experience a lot. And I'm not going to act like that didn't influence my experience, but I think regardless of that, I would still love this movie. I loved it because it was Summer Wars, if it was a romance specifically, and if it had songs. And the songs were good, and I felt like the romance was done well. And I love the Summer Wars, like, you know, different universe, digital realm thing. And that really connected with me. So, you know, the writing was on the wall that I would enjoy this. But what did you think?
It's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to like really discuss it like in depth or anything.
I don't remember much, but I don't really remember liking it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, you don't have to go like super into it. We can kind of leave it at that if that's like all you got to say. Do you have a rating for it?
The ending, or like she goes and saves the kid from the abusive dad.
Yeah.
I think that was like kind of outlandish.
Outlandish as in goofy, or outlandish because he was like 14 or whatever?
No, I think the fact that like, if she was with everyone, like all her friends, her neighbors, like when they like saved them in the game or did whatever in the game.
Yeah.
And then she was like, and then they was like, I found where he is.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just took off with like no back, like no one, like with no help, but like she just went alone.
Yeah.
And I get, because it's like, this is like gonna be their moment of the romance, even though he's like a kid.
Yeah.
But like when she went and then like the dad like punched her, I was like, this is insane. Oh my God. Like if you came with like the guys, I don't know. I was like,
yeah.
I was thinking like, if this kid's in danger, like why would you just like run it like face first into and just try, like you just save them off getting beat up. Like did she like I think she got punched once.
Yeah, I think he did.
I don't know. When I was watching, I was like, why didn't you bring the people with you?
Right. Yeah. I feel that. I loved the ending. I really liked it. I think my interpretation of that scene, when it comes to like the other people not coming with her, I think it was kind of, I don't know, I guess I don't really have a defense for that. It's not really their moment. It would be kind of like not appropriate for them to be there, kind of.
I understand that.
I think they all consciously, I think like when she walked out of the room, I think there was like a shot of them all like standing there like, all right, she's going to go do it. I think they all like deliberately did not follow her because like, I don't know, imagine if like you had like a serious interaction like with your girlfriend or something and all your boys were there. Like, are they supposed to come?
But the thing is like that they know the kid's in danger.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They saw on camera that the dad came in and was like,
if my girl was going to come save me, I wouldn't want her whole family to be there, like when it happens. You know, I kind of want to have
your
my
girl's
moment.
gonna get beat up. Your girl's gonna get beat up, bro.
Even if she gets beat up, like I kind of want to have that be like a thing with just me and her. And I think that's kind of the idea that the characters in the movie had, where it's like this is her like moment, and it would be really awkward if we were all there to either steal the thunder from her or stand there and just watch her do it.
Steal the thunder.
Steal the thunder. Yeah, I guess
she gets fucking mauled by a grown man.
Yeah, but I love that because like the guy, I love these like Mamoru Hosoda movies when they do crazy shit like that, where like something like really outlandish happens, where like a character like hits like another character, or like someone says something that's like really out there. Like when the guy punched her, that is crazy. That's like, wow, whoa. Like, you know, it was like super fucked up. And the guy like realized like, oh my God, like what am I doing, bro? And I love that the girl like didn't fight back because she knows that's kind of counterintuitive to now like how she feels about the world and how she feels about the boy. Like she has like love in her heart. And if she like were to start like wailing on the dude, it would kind of be very in contrast with kind of the feelings that she has like accrued now based on the experience that she went throughout the entire movie and with the boy. And I think like her like not beating up the guy is also supposed to be like I love this boy like enough to where like I'm not gonna like fight you. Like I will stand here and I will take the beating if you really are about to do that. Like you really are about to like beat up a random person because like this is that big of a deal. Like you know that you're like out of line. She didn't even have to say anything. She didn't even have to like throw hands back because like she knew that he knew like that he was wrong, kind of. But that's how I felt. And I love this movie particularly because of the ending. And this is like the main thing that I wanted to say when we ended up talking about it. The dude is like 14 and it's like an online thing. And that is obviously to like a lot of people in America kind of sus. But you know, if I were to compare it to Poppy Hill, where it's been a long time and I'm not like on my A1 shit mentally, so I'm not able to like articulate it. But if you remember that discussion and you remember the point that I was making about like, if you really love someone, like these things that people say are like bad, these are social things that are like ingrained into people mentally. And if you really love someone, you're not going to let that shit get in the way of it. So I really disliked the plot of Poppy where that was kind of getting in the way of it because the answer was obvious. And I feel like they shouldn't have been playing that weird, like silent game, like the whole thing. And I love that in this movie, it kind of has a similar, like weird, like social thing attached to it. And I know that this one's like a little bit more questionable, but I think that there is a lot of people like that. And I'm going to be honest, I had something like that for me when I was like 16. I was on Discord all the time, and there was like a girl that I was talking to, and I was 16 and she was 18. And I've always had this perspective that age gap is not big enough to be like that big of a deal. I don't care what the law says, but like when I was 18, I was not that different from when I was 16, and like she wasn't either. So shouldn't be like making like a crazy deal of it. And especially in the online world where the whole point of the story is that you're being your true self. You're being your most honest, genuine self, right? The thing that I was saying about Poppy, like if you're being your most honest, genuine self, you would know that you like love the guy. You wouldn't have to even think about that. They're being their most honest, genuine selves. So when she sees the kid, when she sees that it's like a 14-year-old boy, she like immediately is like, Beast, oh my God, it's me. And like, you know, it's like so intuitive. It's not like any bullshit that happens. It's like an automatic, like, dude, don't worry. I love you. It doesn't matter type of thing. Like, obviously it does matter to some extent. Like, they're not going to be like, you know, doing anything, you know what I'm trying to say, but it gets the point. It gets the point of like what I was saying with Poppy. And by the end of it, they loved each other and they cared about each other. And the kid, that was like the plot of the movie. Like the kid didn't reveal himself because he's a kid. And he was like self-conscious that, obviously the stuff with the dad, he was self-conscious about, but he was also self-conscious about the fact that he was a kid. And in any normal situation, Manny, in any like real world scenario, the older person would have just stopped talking to the kid because they don't want to get in trouble. Right. But like, that does not invalidate the experience that you had. It doesn't invalidate the feelings that you had. And I don't feel like you should reject that. I feel like you should be true to yourself and do what you want to do that you connect with. And I loved that this movie basically said that in like a really honest way. And I think that because the kid was 14 and because like that's kind of like a touchy subject and the movie is saying what it's saying, I think that's really daring, and I think that's really risky and really ballsy, and that's kind of what I want out of my movies. I want to see something new. I want to see something that kind of challenges the status quo and says something that people are afraid to say, that people like are already thinking. And that's kind of how I felt Belle was doing, and I wasn't expecting it to be that at all. I was just expecting it to be like Summer Wars, but like lovey-dovey. And to kind of go into my next point, it was a music movie. It was very lovey-dovey, and the music slapped. The music was awesome. I fucking loved the goddamn music.
No, it did.
Yeah,
it did.
yeah. And watching it in a theater and watching it in 4K was amazing because the movie really has like an amazing sense of scale. Whenever they're in the digital world, I'm like, yeah, you're really making the digital world look better than the real world because of like how big and how cool it is. Like if I don't know, if we ever go into like the digital world or if there's ever like a Sword Art Online universe, I hope it like is as expansive as that, where it's just like endless buildings, like just going for eternity. Like that's fucking sick. And I think that was visualized beautifully. And the ending where she's like singing and she's like la 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 la, and like everybody else is like singing with her. Once again, I was high, so these emotions were being heightened by like 3. But I fucking loved that. And I think I love that so much because I connect with it. I feel like I'm my most honest self when I'm online versus when I'm in the real world. Because I feel like in the real world, I can't really do that. But in the online world, I can like shed my wings a little bit. So that's like the Cliff Notes version of why I loved Belle. And I only saw it that one time, and I was very high. So maybe my opinion will change, but I gave Summer Wars an 8, and I definitely liked it more than Summer Wars. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I had a great fucking time with it. Yeah. I loved it. I fucking loved it. And yeah, I think I kind of said the gist of what I had to say about that. The real thing will be like, if I'm like not high, will I enjoy it? And I think I will. Because I love Summer Wars, and I feel like this is just like even with it being a relationship movie, I feel like it bolsters the themes that Summer Wars was trying to do too. Because Summer Wars was like also the same thing, but it was like more familial. It was more about family than it was about love and care. But like I feel like the whole point of like this whole digital realm thing is to express your love for everybody in the world, and like how beautiful the world can be when it's framed through this like digital realm. And I feel like the ending where she's singing is literally that. That's like literally the point of the ending. It's like woven into the plot like more so than Summer Wars. So yeah, that's why I like it. But yeah, that was the 4. We did it. Concise, sweet, got it down. So now let's talk about the things that we have on our list of all the things we watched in the past few months.
How you want to do it?
You can go first. Remember that one time we did it where, you were talking about all those things and you just had like a list and you were just reading them off? Because there's a lot of things that you've seen that I haven't seen, and I don't know if you like remember all of them, but just I'm assuming you have a list. Just like tell me what's on the list, and then we'll see what we can talk about to the extent that we can talk about it.
One thing I watched last week was, Comic Historian.
Say again?
Comic Historian, the YouTuber?
Comics? No.
Comic Historian. He reads like comics.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, he after Flash, I was like, I need to revive my faith in DC, right? No, so I bought the Arkham trilogy, the Batman games,
Nice.
and I have them all downloaded. I started with Asylum. I'm gonna beat them all.
You've played them before, right?
I only played Arkham Knight.
Whoa! Oh my God! You didn't even play the good one.
Arkham City.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna beat Asylum. I'm gonna beat the trilogy. So yeah, there's that, and then I watched. He did a whole recap of the Injustice story. Like he read the comic and everything. Yeah. Like it was like the video's like 5 hours long.
Oh, that's cool.
And I watched the whole thing.
Yeah.
On top of like the games. And like it just again like I watched all of Injustice and it's great.
Yeah.
And like it gets me more mad at
yeah, because it's like edgy too. You know? It like kind of I mean, I don't really know much about it, but I know doesn't like Superman like kill Joker in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like something that Zack Snyder I think like wanted to do in it or something like of that nature. That feels like it's in line with his like weird edginess, but it was still ass in spite of that, you know? It wasn't ass because it was edgy, it was ass because it was ass, regardless of the edge.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is great. And I was gonna bring it back to the things we were talking about in Flash, but I forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's cool. But
you also said that you wanted to bring something back when talking about Spider-Man. It was like linked to Spider-Man and Flash.
I think it's this, but I don't remember.
It's okay. It probably.
But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was like I treated it as like a movie since it was like 5 hours long.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope. That I'm about to play the Arkham trilogy. The big one is I watched 1 through 6 Star Wars.
Oh, 1 through only 1 through 6. Okay. Didn't even.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Ray trilogy.
Okay.
I think I might. I'm like in a Star Wars zone right now.
Yeah.
So I might, but
yeah, tell me your thoughts on Star Wars.
Movies. Huh?
Tell me your thoughts on Star Wars.
Yeah, so I think I should have watched it in chronological order.
Really? Yeah. Oh,
I think I would have got more of a
impact.
I think I would have, yeah.
Interesting.
Because I think like if I ended off these 6 movies with Luke looking at Yoda, Kenobi, and Anakin.
Yeah.
Because like after I finished this episode 3, the last one.
Yeah.
I went back and I watched that scene and I was like,
Yeah.
But the thing is, when I watched it initially, I was like, this is a dope ass scene to end it. And it hit harder once I saw Anakin shit.
Right. Yeah.
But there's so much shit to say, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a whole saga.
I can be here for hours, but
we got time.
I really liked like Luke's movies are like so good.
Nice.
And like I put myself in like the shoes of like someone watching it in like 1977.
Yeah.
So like when Kenobi dies, it's like it looks ass. But I didn't like I wasn't like
I honestly think it looks sick. The way he dies when he like cuts him and his whole body disappears, that spooks. Not even that. Like, that's like
the
spooky.
Way they fight is like you can tell it's like
yeah.
How like they fight.
Yeah.
So even when I saw it, like that's the first movie I saw. Even when I saw it, and I know how like the lightsaber fights look in the future.
Yeah.
It didn't make it worse for me.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate it.
Yeah, put into perspective the time it came out, you probably wouldn't even see a lightsaber. Like a lightsaber is just cool as shit, you know?
And like it really changed how like when I thought of Star Wars, like growing up, I didn't think like piloting was such a major thing.
I know, because they don't really do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was all like
lightsabers. Yeah.
Like when I saw like Luke piloting the first 2 movies and then Anakin's piloting in the third, I'm like, oh shit, we got really pilots.
I know.
I feel like that was kind of like the main thing.
The main thing, yeah. It's more the main thing than the lightsaber fights, honestly.
Right. And then
because that's how how 4 ends, right? With like the flight in the Death Star. I don't remember exactly. Yeah.
So when I saw like when Kenobi dies, I was like, oh shit! I just realized I forgot about lightsabers.
Yeah,
I generally forgot, and then he dies, and I'm like, oh. But I feel like if I saw it in chronology, I was like, ah.
Right. The reason why, in my experience, when watching them in chronologic, I did not connect with Luke or those characters as much because I connected with Obi-Wan and Anakin a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So when I watched 4, 5, 6, as a kid, I actually just stopped because I was just like, I don't like these guys nearly as much as the guys from before. And the ratio of like what I'm getting of like Darth Vader and like Obi-Wan is like, you know, done. Like I liked when Obi-Wan died, but you know, when he died, he was gone. And then it was like, stuff that I didn't connect with as much.
I think like when you was telling me to watch it in release order, like I completely like understood and agree. Like how like you want to see how like it looks better from like a 1977 from like 2004.
Yeah.
And of course that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like going back when I finished it all, I was like, damn. Like when I finished like episode 3, I was like, I really wanted to watch the trilogy, like Luke's trilogy again.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I want to see it again.
Okay. Well, I
even though I knew the context of Anakin being Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Like when I was watching the original, the trilogy.
But
even though I understood that context, after watching Anakin go through his journey, I wanted to watch it again.
Yeah. I think another thing that affected it for me is because I was really like connected. Like Anakin's always been like the main character to me. I care about Anakin more than I care about Darth Vader. I know Darth Vader is like the face of Star Wars, but Anakin is like my Star Wars. So when he becomes Darth Vader in those movies, he doesn't talk and he doesn't act the way he does in the show, like the animated show. Or the movies, in the Clone Wars. And that really bothered me as a kid watching the movies. And I think even like recently when I watched the movies, it, you know, I have to watch it through that perspective of like, okay, if I was sitting in the theater, like I have to put into perspective that this came out first, right? You know, in spite of that. And I think that it's easier to do that if you watch it in that order and you enter the universe through that perspective without doing it the way that I was doing it. That's why I recommended it.
Yeah. Nah, but you know, I enjoyed it either way. But I thought like the prequel was like super liked.
No.
I guess they're not.
Did you like the prequels? You can be honest.
I only liked episode 3. I didn't like episode 1 was the worst one.
Yeah.
And I'll say episode 2 was probably like one of the worst ones. But episode 3 was crazy, but I don't know. Like going into it, I thought people liked them.
There are some people that like them. The vast majority of people, like the people on the internet that are vocal about not liking them, you know, they don't like them. But Star Wars is very big. There's going to be people that like it and people that don't like it. Of course.
But like I'll look at like the scores on like IMDb or Rotten Tomato, and I understand like the critic score, but when I saw the audience score was like 40s, 50s, I was like, damn, people didn't like this shit.
Yeah, when it came out, people I think just found it really boring and didn't really connect with it, didn't really care about what was going on. My favorite movie in the prequel is Attack of the Clones because I never saw that movie. And I watched it like for the first time before episode 9 came out. I never watched the prequels because people said they were bad. But I knew the context because I played the games. And in the games, like the Lego games, like just tell you everything. Like there's no words, but they visually, like you can gather everything. When I watch Attack of the Clones is how the show starts. Like the war that the show is about, like starts in Attack of the Clones. And I never had the context for how the war started. So I project like my opinion and my feelings of like the writing and the characters in the show to the characters in the movie. And I fucking love it. And like, there are things that like when Anakin talks, like it's goofy in the second one. It's very goofy, but it's the most Anakin. It's like the closest you get to him being in the show, you know, because that's when he's like you know, time wise, like that's when it syncs up. Like when he's like normal and he's like kind of angry, but he's also like young. So I really connected with the movie. I give it like a 6 out of 10. Like I like the second one a lot.
Yeah. I keep in mind, I watched a recap on the Clone Wars, and I read it too, so I can get the extra context between the second and third, or the in between context.
The Clone Wars TV show did come out like after the third movie, so you know it's not like super important. But there's an animated series done by the guy who did Samurai Jack that's kind of like Animatrix, where it's expected that you watch it before the third movie because it did come out before the third movie. So you should, I mean, you can watch that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but like that shit fucking rocks. There's like this fight scene on YouTube where like Mace Windu like solos an entire like droid army in like the animated show, and it's really sick. It's great. You'd like it.
Yeah.
They do the Akira slide. It's cool.
Nah, but oh no, I really did enjoy. I really did enjoy like the whole experience.
Awesome.
But I think I do wonder if I watched it and I was like, when I finished episode 3, I was like, oh my god, I need to watch.
You don't think that you can just wait a while and then watch it the way you want to watch it and then kind of get that experience? Nah. Okay. That works for me often. Didn't watch Attack on Titan in a long time. Watched it back to back. Kind of forgot most of it. You'll do that with Star Wars.
Maybe.
But
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm happy I watched it. 6 movies I knocked down.
Nice. Ratings for each.
My favorite one, Ratings for each.
Yeah.
One was so boring.
I gave one a 1 out of 10. I hate one. One's really boring.
I think I gave it like a 3.
Yeah.
2, 4, 3. 3 was crazy. 3 is like, to me, 3 is like a 7.
Nice.
4 like a 7. 2 like an 8. 3 like a 6.
Yeah. All right.
Wait, no. Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 as in like the third one of that trilogy.
Yeah. 6 out of 6. I mean,
6 movie 6 is a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked the second episode 5.
Yeah, episode 5 is so well paced. It feels like I'm watching like that. Felt like oh, this is like the Infinity War for like Star Wars. Like this is this is like that movie. Yeah, I love episode 5. That's my favorite of the movies as well.
Yeah, that's like everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Which is like insane.
Understandably so.
But I think the way episode 6 ends is like, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
I people tell me like,
I love the ending song. Wah, 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 wah.
People tell me, like, yo, when you watch that, like, that's the ending. That's it. Like, no more. I was like, yo, that's a freaking end.
It's a fucking sick end, yeah.
But I might watch the Rey trilogy.
Honestly, 7. I like 7. If you actually liked like 4 through 6 that much, watch 7. 7's dope. Because 7 is very nostalgia baity. No, 7 is very like for people who liked 4 through 6. And it does kind of rip. Like 7's pretty awesome. Like some of the fights and like, you know, getting to see Star Wars rendered in like real modern like you know, animation. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you can stop there. You can stop.
I gotta go all the way, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, but that's Star Wars. I'm really happy I watched.
Please do go all the way because I want to hear your thoughts on the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to talk about.
I told you before I watched all of Violet Evergarden.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Awesome.
I think the anime is good.
Yes.
But the movies, the movies could like. I feel like the ending they could have pushed a different message out than like the anime was kind of about. It's kind of like about forget, like moving on.
Yes.
Forgetting.
Yes. I did feel
but
like
then
that was,
like,
and then she gets like what she wants like at the end.
And then the bro just pulls up at the end.
Yeah.
It's like
The movie had a lot of impact on me.
You watched it?
Yes, I watched it in theaters when it came out. I watched both of them in theaters.
The whole thing?
Well, I watched the anime, and I watched the anime because the first movie was coming out in theaters, and that was very far apart from the like Violet Evergarden the movie. I don't think they were even gonna do the movie like first. And Violet Evergarden I don't think is based off a manga or anything. So the reason why I connected with the movie was because I was like,
the first movie, right?
No, the second movie. I connected with the second movie where she like meets the boyfriend because I didn't think that was gonna happen. I really didn't think.
Really?
I went into the movie and they showed it on like the poster, like they show him on the poster and everything. But I was like on that type of wave where like I don't even look at the poster like when I go see the movie. I'm like, oh, Violet Evergarden, all right, buy the ticket, whatever. And like I just kind of went into the movie, and when the guy was like, I was like, oh my god, like no way. Like the whole time I was like, no way. And I felt like I got the experience of like experiencing an ending that like you know the lesson of the show like hit me, and I was like, yeah, that's the moral of the story. Yeah. And then the movie, I thought, because Autumn Memory Doll was so like fillery and it was such like just kind of like another episode. I just kind of thought that the movie was going to be like that. So when it was the guy, I'm like, give it to her. She deserves it. And I was like,
no. Wasn't the first movie, wasn't it like, I forgot, there's an episode or the movie where it's like, she's like, a mom's dying.
Yeah, a mom's dying. And then like I believe she's on the phone.
Hold on. She's like, a mom's dying, and then it's like she's like writing letters for their daughter for each birthday. Was that in the movie or was that an episode?
I don't remember.
Because that one, whatever that was, that hit very hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She kept opening letters, like she's like, I'm 25.
Right.
That was dope.
Yeah.
I don't remember it all.
I don't remember either. Yeah. It might have happened in both, like to some extent. Maybe it was like in both of them a little bit, but that was really dope. Yeah.
That was probably like the highlight for me
of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of it.
Fair.
I like the anime.
Anime is dope. I will buy it on Blu-ray. There is a 4K of the movie. And that's on my watch list. I would love to watch it again in 4K.
There's another anime I watched was Another. You heard of that?
Oh, I've never seen it, but I know of it. Yes, I've always. Yeah. That was like a Watch Mojo classic. You know, it was like on everyone's list. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it. It was so interesting at the start, but then it wasn't.
Oh no! Aww.
Yeah, it's like that girl with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Like doesn't exist. Like
no
one else. No one else sees her in the class, so it's like implied that she's not even real. But the main character can see her, but she is real, and like everyone just ignores her.
Whoa, that's fucking sick. That's actually.
It sounds cool.
Yeah.
But it doesn't end up cool.
That's.
When I was watching, I was like, "Oh shit!"
This is about to be a new boy classic right here.
Yeah, I was like, "Bro."
Yeah.
And then it just like it ended as just a gory like mess. Like everyone just died.
Yeah, that was like the thing that they sold it on. It's gory.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a real shame.
It was so cool at the start though.
Damn.
And like how dark the show is.
It's
like the early episodes like, oh, is she real or is the main character bugging?
Yeah.
And then they had like not a movie but like an extra episode
OVA
where like it shows OVA exactly where like what happens with her right before the first episode, like it ends and then the first episode starts, and that was pretty cool. But the second half of the show was pretty bad.
Wow. Okay. That's good. That's a good
Bleach. The newest Bleach season was great.
Yes. So I kind of know everything that I know most of, like especially the last arc in Bleach. The old guy Like his time came in this one, old man.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I was trying to be vague because I didn't know if like it got to that. But
yeah, he got bodied.
Yeah, people were telling me like even if you don't watch Bleach, just watch it, and I might.
I really liked it.
Awesome. Great.
A great opening song too.
Yeah. I did listen to that opening song even before you sent it up.
That's just fire.
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
Chainsaw Man was good.
Yeah, it's not over though. It's not over.
Yeah.
Not even the first season. And someone told me where it left off, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so much left to go.
Right.
I
was thinking about picking up the manga.
Yeah, the manga's still going. I love the manga. I told you I read the manga, right? The manga is, yeah, the manga.
I think you did.
I read it a long time ago, and I just kind of didn't tell you because I didn't want to like ever accidentally spoil it or anything. But the manga is fantastic, and I'm excited to watch the anime because like they have to be like thoughtful about how they adapt it, and I'm excited to see how they do it. But the guy who writes the manga, bro, he's like a genius. Like the short stories that he wrote, like that aren't Chainsaw Man, I kind of like more than Chainsaw Man. Like honestly, like the ones that are like one chapter long, that shit goes fucking hard. Goodbye Eri, read it. Like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye Eri.
Awesome.
I really like Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Spy Family, the 2 seasons. Spy Family is great.
Oh, yeah, the second season of Spy Family. I forgot that came out. There was like a trailer for the movie that just dropped, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was
second season had a great opening song.
Nice.
I really like it's Spy Family, you know?
Yeah, it's Spy Family. Did the dog come in? They got a dog now? Is the dog good?
The dog's good.
Nice.
The show's great.
Awesome.
It's
cute.
I think I would always watch it.
It's a comfort watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a show called Jormungand. Ever heard of
that? Say that one more time.
Jormungand. Jormungand.
Gand. Oh, that's a very interesting title. It showed the snake from God of War. That's not. Maybe I typed it in.
It's
wrong.
like Jormungand anime.
Oh, okay. I've never seen this before. What's this?
Yeah. Pretty.
Oh, this is old. This is really old.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this was new. How was that?
Yeah, it's pretty mid.
Pretty mid. Pretty mid.
Yeah, it's pretty gay. JoJo Part 6.
Yes. You can. If you think you can give no spoilers.
Nah.
Okay. You don't have to talk about it at all.
I like Jolene.
Yes.
Jolene's badass.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. JoJo's the best.
Yes. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
JoJo's the best. Like this group of characters is so good.
I will watch it and I will talk about it more. That was the little bit I watched. One of my takeaways, because I'm of the opinion that the best group is part 3, and I don't dislike the characters in 5 and 4, but I don't feel like you get them together enough, like in either of them. And the part 6, I'm just going to say this very quickly. Part 6 works because the characters are. Part 3 worked because there were a lot of characters, but they were all very basic. So it was very easy to just have them doing their thing and being funny and being cool and having good moments without wasting time on like backstory or development, because you kind of just got all that in the beginning and it was like boom, boom, and now we can just have fun. And I feel like there is backstory and there is development with like the 3 main people in part 6, but there's only 3 of them. So, you know, you can have the fun moments where they're like doing their thing and you can get development in junction with that. And I think that's perfect. I think that's like the perfect structure. And from what I watched, I was very into the 3. I loved Hermes. I thought Hermes was like cool. And I thought Foo Fighters was hilarious. There's one part that like had me busting out laughing where I think it's like when Foo Fighters like first comes into the fray and she like jumps on Jolene and Jolene's like, get the fuck off me, pushes her on the ground and Foo Fighters falls to the ground. She's like, ooh, water. She like wakes up. I like laughed out loud when that happened. And
Yeah.
I think about that like once a month, like Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
of course, there's a lot I want to say, but
yeah, we will. I hope the day comes where I can finally talk about it. But speaking of anime that I haven't watched that finished this year that are important, Demon Slayer. I didn't watch it, but do you want to say anything about it?
Yeah, I was gonna get to it. I'm the last episode. I'm on the last episode, and it's 50 minutes long.
Oh, so you didn't? Okay, so you didn't finish it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Demon Slayer.
It's Demon Slayer. Okay. Is that it?
Have you read the manga?
No, but you can give me your honest opinion. Just try to do it without spoiling.
I just think season 2 hit a lot harder.
Yeah, that's why I was not enthusiastic about season 3, because I don't think that Demon Slayer, as much as I really like season 1 and I really like season 2, but it's not like Attack on Titan where the quality of what I've seen so far guarantees the quality of what's to come. It's one of those things that can very easily drop off, and the quality of each season is kind of determined by the individual season's strengths and how they subvert my expectations given what I saw prior. And season 2 like really delivered, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like I watched it and I'm like, I don't know how you're going to top this, and I just kind of don't really have faith that you will. So until people say otherwise, I'm not even going to like waste my time. So maybe I don't know. I'm motivated to finish Demon Slayer because I know it's gonna end around like 6 or 7, like season 5 or season 6. You know?
Yeah.
So I'll probably just watch it off of that. But yeah.
Yeah. Blue Lock, the soccer show, it was really it got progressively better.
Nice.
Surprised me.
Awesome. Let's go.
I really liked it. Tokyo Revenge season 2. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Claymore, the female berserk.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's another Watch Mojo classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another old one.
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
Older.
You can spoil that. You can tell me about that.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
But
I've heard good things.
I just wish, because the manga, it keeps going, and I want to know what happens, but I don't want to go out my way to
read
know what
happens. Yeah.
But I want to know what happens. I like
good.
the main character, Claire.
Cool.
Interesting world.
But is it one of those things where like it doesn't even have like a real ending by the end of it? Like the first season?
I think it does. No. But that first season?
Yeah. Or like what's available in anime form? Because it's...
I think... Honestly, I don't even remember what happens at the end.
Okay, that's okay. Do you have a rating for it?
I like a 6.
Okay.
My Hero season 6.
Oh. Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Especially because season 5 was ass. So.
Season 5 was so ass that I'm like done. Like I don't care about My Hero.
I know.
Yeah. It impresses me that you like watch like things that are like, you know, that have committed so many sins.
I made it this far, you know?
Yeah, so have I, but I don't care. It's not over though, Manny. It's not over. Like it's still going in like the manga.
No.
Like I don't be hearing manga people go like, "Yo, oh," like I don't even hear that.
Really, I do.
Oh, you do? Well, okay. People were saying that ages ago, and I'm like about season 4 and about season 5, and I'm super indifferent towards both of them.
I saw them. They was talking a lot about season 6.
Oh,
like Deku did his thing, but yeah, you don't really hear about it no more now.
Whatever.
Right, so here we go.
Yeah.
Zero Experiments Lane.
Yes. You can talk about that a little.
One of the best openings ever.
Nice. I haven't even heard of it. I haven't even heard it.
You probably just don't know.
Okay.
This show is insane.
Very try hard.
Very try hard.
I'm so excited.
It's super try hard.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is it like one of those shows that you wish I watched so we could talk about it?
Yeah. But fuck.
Yeah.
It's so hard to grasp.
Yeah.
So try hard. It's like one of the most try hard things I've ever watched.
Really? Oh my god, you're gassing it
It's
up.
like it's like
I'm excited.
Paranoia Agent and the
Perfect
Blue and
oh my
Paprika
god.
and
Oh my god.
and what's that show we watched? I don't know, you watched it, but it came out. No, hold on. You know what I'm talking about in a second. Sunny Boy.
Sunny Boy. You
It's
watched
like
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it. And it's like way more try hard than that.
Oh wow. Yeah.
It was crazy though.
Yeah.
Love Lane, that's all I can say.
Do you have a rating for it?
I give it a 8.4.
Nice. High praise.
I really liked it.
Okay.
That was great. Habine Remne.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah.
I wasn't feeling it.
Okay.
I think going into it, I thought it was a try hard show. It's not at all. I don't know the way the way I came up.
It's try hard
watching
in the same way that Ninja Scroll is try hard. Where like not a lot of people talk about it, and the people who do talk about it make it sound like really, really great. But it's just kind of like really vintage and kind of classic. It's not like it's not like a head turner, but it's just. I think the reason why people like it is because it offers something that you don't get from like other anime.
Yeah.
Even if it's not try hard.
It's very different.
Yeah.
But the way I understand, I always knew it was a cult classic, but the way the people of that cult would talk about it made me think a lot different of what it was gonna be. But I like the ending though.
Okay. Yeah, I'll still check it out. It's still like one of the anime that's like higher on my list of things to watch.
Yeah. I watched this new show, Eminence in the Shadow.
I'll look it up.
It's an isekai. The main character's OP, but he doesn't want to be like. He wants to live his life as like a background character. Everything he does is like to be a background character. Like it was kind of funny, but then like the joke wears off because like it's the same joke.
Yeah.
He like, but there's one funny part where like he's in a school, like he's in school, then it gets like people like bad guys come to take over the school, and then like they come to his class, and then, like the bad guy saying like bad guy shit, and then he's like internal monologue. He's like, how would a background character die in this scenario? And then he goes up, he's like to like save like the princess, and he gets slashed, and he's like, and then he dies. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah,
but like everything else about the show is pretty bad.
Okay.
Star Wars, I thought about Batman, Flash. I rewatched Cat Returns.
Yeah.
It's as good as ever.
Nice. Awesome.
I rewatched Howl's Moving Castle. It's better than how I did it last time. Well, maybe watch it is I saw a TikTok edit. I was like, oh, this movie looks dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a Star Wars. Like the reason I watched Star Wars is because I saw Anakin edits.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this looks cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched it. And then Howl's.
Some movies only work on the second time. Sometimes you got to watch it once and be like, what? And then like when you know what you're getting into, you're like, okay, I kind of know what this is supposed to be, what's supposed to work about it. I'm going to kind of go into it with that equipped. And I think that even now there are some Ghibli movies. Like, I don't know, maybe next time I watch Ponyo, maybe I'm not going to be as cynical towards it next time. Maybe like I'll understand that. So, yeah, I'm glad you liked Howl's. You don't have to like talk about it.
Yeah, no, I really liked it, and And I was immediately started thinking about Susan May.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where does it land on your tier list, if you remember?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? I think I have it. Hold on, let me see if I have it. Give me a second.
I wish I still had that tier list. I can probably recreate it right now.
Probably could recreate.
Well, not right now, but like if I went on my notes, I can probably recreate it.
Yeah, you probably could. You can keep going. I'm gonna try to look for it actually. But keep going.
Yeah, other than that, I only got one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is actually no. I watched 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street.
Oh wow. What did you think about those? Those are like middle school, high school classics for me. Yeah.
21 Jump Street that movie is so funny.
It's like, really funny.
It holds up.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious.
That's like a Phil Lord and Miller thing. Like that's the Spider-Verse guys. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Fucking like this movie's so funny, dude. Yeah. Like every scene is like funny.
They got the sauce, man.
Even when they go to school, like first time they go to school,
mm-hmm.
and like Channing was supposed to be like the cool guy, but
yeah,
being a cool. Like when he goes to school, he's like, "Yo," he's giving tips on how to be cool because he's like, "I was cool in high school, he wasn't." So he's giving tips like, "Yo, one strap the backpack." Yo, he's like, "How to be cool? Just don't give a shit about anything." And then he's like, "If anyone gives you problems, just punch him." And then like he goes up to like Dave Franco, right? And that's how they introduce. He's like, "Hey, nice car." He's like, "Blah blah blah blah." And then he was like, "Oh, before that, when he was walking up to them and he was seeing like the groups, so he was like, in his time it was just like the jocks and the nerds, but now it's like it'll be like the anime guys,
yeah.
Jocks. It would be like different groups." He's like, and I was like, "Yo, this is so true."
Yeah.
Because now, like, everyone watches anime. Anime is like the cool thing now. Mm-hmm. So if you say if you went now, he'd be like, he's like, what are these guys Demon Slayer? I was like, oh my god, this is. And I was reading comments of people like his age saying like, "Yo, when I went back to college and I was 28, I had like the same reaction." So I was like, "Oh, I thought that was so cool because it still holds up today."
Yeah,
I was like, that was so cool. But
it's great.
Then he went to Dave Franco, and Franco was like, "Nice car," blah blah blah. He was like. And he was talking about like how many miles per gallon he gets, and he said like something low, and he's like, "You don't care about the environment? That's fucked up, bro." Like,
yeah, I love that. That was yeah.
and then he was like, when has Dave Black friend, he was like, "Look at this nerd doing homework. He gives a shit. What a nerd." And the guy walks up. He's like, "What'd you say?" And he was like, "Turn off this gay ass music." Yo, turn off this gay ass music. And they're like, "Bro, you have a problem with gays?"
It's really funny, yeah.
And the black guy's like, "You punch me because I'm gay?" He's like, "No, I punch you because you're a nerd." And he's like, "You punch me because I'm gay." And then his friend, I forgot, what's the actor's name with Channing Tatum?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill's like, "No, it's not homophobic. It wouldn't have been homophobic if you weren't gay." But like, he's trying to break it down. But then they go to the principal office. He's like, "You punched a gay black kid on your first day?" I was like, "Oh my god!" I was crying.
That's really
funny ass movie. The whole thing is hilarious.
Now, what did you think of the sequel? Because as a kid, I remember being like, "Damn, this is not as strong as the first one."
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
I saw it as a kid too, but I didn't like it as a kid, and I really don't like it now. It's like the same exact plot, but the only thing that's different is when Channing became a cool kid. The cool kids he hanged out with weren't the criminals.
Yeah,
that's like the only difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of people hyping up.
It had funny scenes though.
Yeah,
it wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, so you gonna grab food?
Good time to make a. All right, so that's everything on your end, right?
Yeah.
All right. I don't have a lot. There's a bunch of movies that I saw, but I'm not going to go out of my way to like explain each one of the movies. I'm just going to go over the list specifically. First thing, pretty big thing that I did. I watched The Last of Us show. I watched the whole thing. And the reason why I watched it was because I was like, I'm never gonna play the game, and I'm never gonna like know the story without. I'm never gonna know the story like in an experience way, and the only way that I'm willing to do it is through the show. And I watched it like when it kind of was like 2 episodes from ending, and everyone was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." And I was like, "I'll watch it with my mom," because me and my mom watched Walking Dead together like every week, and I was like, "This will be like nostalgic." And so we watched it together. Watched it like once every couple days episode, and it was pretty good. Pedro Pascal like captures Joel very well. He's amazing. Bella Ramsey, who's Ellie, is really good. Did you know that the people who play the characters in the game play some characters like in the show? Like not their characters, but like Troy Baker, the guy who plays Joel, he's in the show. He's like the partner of like the priest, like rapist guy. He's like a random partner guy, and he like gets like offed, but he's like in it.
That's cool though.
Yeah, I think Tess is the mother of Ellie. They show a scene with Ellie's like mom. I think that was Tess, but I don't remember exactly. But that was cool. That was a nice little touch. And as a show, even from someone who hasn't played the game, I could tell that they were speed running through the story, and they were kind of going through it like really fast. And kind of like it felt like we were getting these emotional beats that were still hitting, but not hitting as hard as they do in the game. And I haven't played the game, so I know that my opinion is like with a grain of salt, but I'm fairly certain that I would enjoy the game more if I played the game. Just in terms of the pacing. Because honestly, this story, like if the game didn't exist and they wanted to like experience the breadth of this writing to the fullest extent, it would be like double the length of what it is, at least like 20 episodes. And one of the major criticisms is that in the last episode, when Joel is like going to Ellie, it's not like an elaborate like fight scene. It's like a weird little montage of Joel like walking up, shooting people, and then it just like it's like less than a minute. And that was like one criticism that someone had, and it was kind of lackluster. I feel like it should have been some epic like crazy fight scene where the filmmakers like flexed, and like you get to see Joel like fucking like fuck up like a whole thing of people. That would have been epic, and they kind of just didn't try at all to do that. They like made no attempts. It's kind of weird. But from the perspective of someone that's never played the game, I did like it. The visual effects in this show were incredible. Like the world of The Last of Us, very beautiful world. The music, they just took most of it from the game. Music's great. I love Joel. I love Ellie. I love the story. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me. And I'm interested to see if they follow with season 2, like if they follow with like what they do in the game, or if they continue it. I gave it a 7 out of 10, which is still like lower than most people. Like most people give it an 8, but it was too fast. It really did speed run through like a lot of the shit, and kind of don't forgive her for that. But did you hear about like episode 3? Like there's like one episode that's like completely original to this about Bill. I don't.
Is that what that gay kiss scene is at?
Yeah. That was the best episode. That episode alone was better than the whole thing. Yeah. Do I need to?
Cool.
Yeah. So
no, you go.
That episode fucking slapped. That episode was insanely good compared to the rest of the thing. Like in isolation, that's a 9. The whole show though is like a 7. And that episode's kind of weird because it's like episode 3, and it's a whole hour dedicated on this random guy that someone who hasn't played the game doesn't know. And it was very clearly like, we're putting this in for people who played the game and want to see something new. That was very clearly the intent of it. And the reason why I didn't want to watch the show is because like, why would I watch a show that's clearly not going to be as good as the game? And my takeaway at the end of it is like explicitly like, yeah, like this is clearly not as good as the game, and I'm gonna watch it because I don't have time to play the game. But I feel like the purpose of the show is to give this story to people that are not willing to play a game, like people like my mom. You know, I think the story is good enough to where even if they speed run through it, they should give it to, you know, older people that don't play video games and stuff.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yep. Studying for school. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about the Last of Us show. Ellie was good. Joel was good. Certain parts were great. I'm trying to think of like the best part. Can't really think of anything, but yeah, and nothing that wasn't like already. Yeah, the best part was episode 3. Episode 3 was the best part of the whole show. Great episode. I'd recommend it, especially if you played the game, because it's like it's fantastic. It's really good. It'll be better if you watch it without the context of where it takes place in the show. It'll be better if you watch it as like a DLC for the game. Yeah, good shit. The guy from Parks and Rec is like the main dude in it, and he's amazing. Fucking great acting.
Yeah.
Nick Offerman, I think is his name. But that was that. That's Last of Us. And then I watched 3 big franchises. 3 big franchises with multiple movies. I think I told you this already, but I watched all the Fast and Furious movies at the end of December. And it is so anime. So anime. And I unironically like these movies. And I was so excited for Fast X. But Fast X was so bad that I'm not even going to watch the next one. And my Fast and Furious love ends at 8. 8, it's like full on JoJo, and the cars are the stands. I mean that like sincerely. Like it's so unapologetically JoJo. It's so crazy. I really love it, and I honestly think you would like it too. One of your main criticisms for Fast and Furious is that like you don't like when it stops being about cars, but it kind of always stays about cars. Like yes, they do like fight more like as it goes on, but like they're always driving cars. They're always, you know, hitting the gritty. I don't know, busting Uis. So shit's cool, and I think that because there are so many movies, when it gets goofy, it earns like the goofiness. I think by the time they get to like 7, like 8 and 9 kind of take it a little too far, but in 7, like they have all the right doing like the Dragon Ball shit that they're doing, like, you know, jumping a car through like Dubai and like 2 towers and stuff like that. Because they're 7 movies deep. What else are they gonna do? You know?
Right.
And it really is Dragon Ball. It's like family and, you know, fight for your squad. And like I love the characters. I really do. They're awesome. It's fun. And I really think that you'd enjoy it. I think you'd enjoy it. They're like nigga movies. They're like the only type of movies like this anymore. You know those early 2000 movies where it's like, hey, what's good, bitch? Like just like that type of shit. You don't get stuff like that anymore. And Fast and Furious is like thriving off of that. And I have like an early 2000s like nostalgia for that because I feel like not only are movies from that era just kind of not good, but Fast and Furious, like the first one, is pretty good, and it just kind of kept going.
Give me a second.
Yeah, take your time.
Keep on.
And yeah, so if I had to rank the Fast and Furious movies, I have the list on my phone. I have to look at it. But 10 was awful. 10 made me like want to cry. I was very sad at 10. I thought like it had no reason to be as bad as it was. But 10, I mean this sincerely, 10 looked worse than Spy Kids 3. That's how bad it looked. But the ranking is 7 from like 1 to 11. 7, 5, 1, 8, 6. And then from this point on, I think these are kind of bad. Tokyo Drift, 9, 4, 10, 2, Too Fast, Too Furious. And then the last one is Hobbs and Shaw. But yeah. In terms of the ones where it's like just about cars mostly, 5 and 1 are awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. Genuinely love it. And I'm really sad to see how far it's fallen. Maybe one day I'll make a video on it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was one franchise. And then I watched all of the Saw movies. Every single Saw movie. Have you ever seen Saw? Okay.
Yeah.
But you have no interest because you don't like horror movie stuff, right?
Right.
Right. Saw 1, outside of it being like a horror movie, I think you'd like Saw 1. It's really good. It's got a great story and it's got a great idea. It's Danganronpa for America. In the same way that Fast and Furious is like Dragon Ball for us, it's Danganronpa for us. It's like niggas get trapped in a room, they have to like play some game or something. You know? It's like that. And Saw is really good. A lot of them are very bad though. And 6 and 7 are like hilarious. Like kind of ironically, but kind of unironically. They're very goofy and they're very funny. And I think you'd have a blast like watching them. They're fucking hilarious. But you'd like Saw 1. And I'm not going to get more into that one. But the big thing that I did was I watched every single Lupin the Third movie. And
How many?
There are 50. There are
50?
50, yes. Over the course of a year. Like I started this like binge in August of last year, and I've just been slowly like chipping one off the list like every single time. And the reason why I'm pushing myself to do this is to like make like a ranking of all of them and make a video out of it. Which will be really fun because like no one has the balls to like actually do that. You know?
That's insane.
Yeah. And Manny, I have some takes that I cannot wait to put out there. They're some of the most interesting pieces of anime I've ever seen. One of them has blackface. One of them is directed by one of the most popular like Japanese filmmakers like of all time. A Japanese filmmaker who got banned for 10 years from making movies because the studio was like, don't make a cool movie. Don't make a avant-garde creative movie. And then he made a try-hard movie and they're like, no! And they banned him for 10 years. And then it became like a classic. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And, there's a Miyazaki movie in there, obviously. I watched that. And I watched like the first like Lupin movie, like the very first animated one. And bro, there's so much things in it that I'm like, that's literally Akira. There's like so many things in it that like, and it came out before Akira. So it's like, oh my God, like it's so crazy. I'm starting to realize how much of an influence like Lupin has on like so many things in like culture. Like Indiana Jones is like only exists because like of Lupin. Like Miyazaki, like before Ghibli, he was working on like the show like Lupin, and it like was getting like super low ratings. And then when he and the guy who does like Only Yesterday and Princess Kaguya, they both like partnered on that, and they both like revived that series and like brought it to life. And he directed, the Castle of Cagliostro, but he did like 2 episodes. If you've ever seen a fight scene of like a girl like in a plane like fighting people, like jumping through the plane and like kind of wearing like a very loose top and like very loose pants, but it very clearly is like animated by Miyazaki. That's from Lupin the Third. That's like from one of the episodes. And he like just does his thing. Like the Castle in the Sky robot is in Lupin the Third, like in the show, which is cool. And that was before Castle in the Sky came out. So, yeah. And yeah, there's just a bunch of awesome shit like that, and I'm so excited to talk about it. Takeshi Koike made those Lupin movies. I don't know if you know about that. Like the Redline guy, after Redline, he did like Lupin the Third movies, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful. I love them, and I'm excited to talk about them. And I'll make the video with you in mind because I want to like get people into it because it's fun. It's cool. It's great.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I literally just finished like the last one yesterday, like the 3D one. The 3D one is so good. Like the one that has like 3D animation that looks like a Pixar movie. That shit rocks. But there was that, and then I watched Shin Kamen Rider, which just got announced recently that it's going to be on Amazon Prime July 21st. So you can watch it if you want. But the craziest thing about that movie, Manny, the craziest thing is that the movie opens and the guy who made Tetsuo the Iron Man is like literally like standing there explaining like how the Kamen Riders work. Because the whole plot of Kamen Rider is that like the main dude, he has like antennas and he has like a mask. He's like a human fused with like the cells of like a bug, like a centipede or something, or like a mantis. So he has like the strength of like the insect, but he's like a human, right? Yeah. And it's basically like the fucking weirdo man that made Tetsuo just being like, when the bug fuses with the human, it creates a da-da-da-da. And it's just like a minute and a half of just like his exposition. And you know Hideaki Anno, where like that camera angles like shifts like while they're talking. And it's like, oh my god, like this is such like a Manny like alley like talks like moment that we like that like I wish like you were there to witness. But the movie is honestly kind of ass, but it's like an Anno movie, so there are moments that feel like Evangelion and feel like all these things that like work. And in isolation, those moments are like so good that like it's like a 4 out of 10 movie that I give like a 5 in spite of that. Yeah, and I also attribute it to like kind of not having a lot of familiarity with Kamen Rider and stuff. But it's still like kind of an ass movie regardless of that. But if it did its job, and it kind of made me like watch Kamen Rider on Kamen Rider, I've learned is like it's kind of like Power Rangers. Like you can just start anywhere, and like Tubi, like the streaming service, like a lot of them are just on Tubi. A lot of them are on YouTube, like legally for free. So I'm gonna check out one of them. Like I was watching one, and I was watching like the most recent one, like the newest one that came out in like 2019. And I was like, this one's kind of ass. I'm not going to watch this. So I'm going to watch one of the older ones, or I'm just going to check it out. And I'm going to allow myself, and I think it's very important for anime fans to do this if they want to get into stuff like that. I'm going to allow myself to not have to watch it in order and watch every episode. Like I went to sleep and I missed like a good chunk of episodes, and then I woke up and I was just like, I don't care. I'm just going to keep it on. Like, why not? Yeah. You know? Experience it the way you experience like Saturday cartoons and stuff, you know? So I'll check that out. And that's Shin Kamen Rider. You still need to watch Shin Godzilla. That shit rocks. There's that. Then there was The Whale. The Whale. Have you seen The Whale? You texted me about it. The Whale, I think I said to you that it wasn't like one of my favorite movies. I take that back. It is. It's like one of my favorites now. I connected with that movie very personally, and kind of there's like a mixed response because some people like watch it and kind of laugh at it and think it's like really goofy, and it is very goofy, and it is very dramatic about just like a fat guy like living in his apartment. But I think that the dramatic nature of it is only dramatic because it's being honest, and it's like it's taking itself seriously because it does feel very seriously about that topic. And I connected with it a lot. Don't want to get too into it, but I really, really, really liked it, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie. The goofiness kind of like sometimes does override it, and it is unintentionally like funny sometimes, but it's an incredible movie, and Brendan Fraser deserved the Oscar He was incredible. Like, such an amazing performance. Loved it.
Did I tell you I watched? I think I did. I told you I watched Everywhere.
Yes, you did. Yeah, we should talk about that. I forgot. You text me your rating and what you thought of it, but you didn't like give me detailed thoughts.
Keep going with your list though.
Okay. Yeah, I condensed mine enough to where there's not too much. Puss in Boots. We've already talked about that, but have you heard anything on it since, or has your like interest changed at all? Okay.
No.
If we continue this in any way, shape, or form, and I get the opportunity to recommend something, I'll recommend Puss in Boots because I'm confident you'll enjoy it. It's anime. They make anime for us now.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that. I love it. I watched Tar. That's a big one. Did I tell you that? Did I tell you I watched it? Oh, okay. Tar is...
That's the piano one?
Yeah, it's the music one. She's a conductor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the fire poster that's like black, and she's like that. That is the most try-hard movie I've seen in a long time. It was very slow, but it was very challenging, and I think about it a lot. The plot of the movie is about like a Whiplash type of person, kind of like a Fletcher type character. And it's kind of about like them getting canceled. And it's so interesting because the movie kind of starts out like Whiplash, and it really like is built like yo, it's Whiplash. Like, you know, watch her come up, bro. Like, watch her be on that type of wave. And then like bad stuff starts happening, and it was really confusing what the message was to me. And I feel like it was so try hard that I couldn't even like figure it out. And I was talking about it with my friends from Canada, and they said the same thing. So I'm like, okay, so I know I'm not alone in this. It's a movie that I have to wait before I like say anything about, but I'm so excited for the day that I feel comfortable to like sit down and actually watch this movie and actually like experience it. But I will say, like, my experience watching it this time, it was so slow and so long that I was like kind of like getting tortured. It was like really hard to like sit through, to be honest. But so I left it unrated, but it's like one of those like super try hard movies that like when I return to, it's probably going to be like really high, you know? I think about it like a lot, and yeah, and it's a very beautiful movie, and the way it's shot and the ending, like I think about the way it ended so much. Like I don't even know what to make of it. Like it's very try hard. So yeah, there's that, and then there's the Banshees of Inisherin. You would love that movie. I'm positive you would like it. I think that was another like nomination for best picture. It's got Colin Farrell. There's another movie I saw called In Bruges, which is directed by the same guy, Martin McDonagh, and that's like, you know, it's kind of like Nausicaa and Princess Mononoke. He kind of just made the same movie again. But this one is like, it's better. I think this one's better than the other one, In Bruges. But they're comedies, but they are like very dramatic as well. And they're very funny, but they're also very dramatic. And that's all I'm gonna really say about it. It's really good. It impacted my life a lot. Like since I watched it, my life has like objectively changed, like drastically. And it's a 10 out of 10. I really like it.
Wow.
Yeah. It's good. Then I watched an anime. Very short anime.
Oh, you watch anime?
I watched an anime called Kite, a film. Do you know the movie? Do you know the anime Kite? If you look up the cover, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just kite, like a kite that flies in the sky.
Okay.
Have you seen that cover before?
No.
Really? I've always known about this, like the whole time.
Kite?
No, just show me the cover. Show me what it shows. It's like a girl. Yes, that one. Yeah. That is like violent, like OVA, Wicked City-esque kind of anime. And I watched it because a YouTuber that I really respect spoke very highly of it. And Quentin Tarantino spoke highly of it as well. And after watching it, in the same way that I felt when I watched Battle Royale, where I'm like, oh, I can see why Tarantino liked this. I can totally see why Tarantino liked Kite. It gave me the feelings that I get when I watch his shit. And I fucking loved it. I really loved it. Yeah. It's very graphic. It's like straight up hentai, like even more so than Wicked City. To the extent that I wonder if I'll like the cut version more, because there's like a version that's like censored that doesn't take the sex out. It's still in the movie, but they just aren't. It's not as revealing. And then there's the one that's like completely uncut. I watched the completely uncut version, and I wonder if the cut version I'll like more. But there's a story around it, and it's like I don't want to act like it's 100% justified because it's like really like it shows a lot. But it's very graphic, and I just think it's amazing. And I gave it a 10 when I watched it. And that's another one that like we got to talk about. That pose a very interesting discussion. It's so fucking cool. So there's that, and then there's I wrote down. Have you heard of the movie Amadeus?
No.
Look up the cover and tell me if you've seen the cover. Just type in Amadeus. Because this is one of those movies that has like a fire cover. Amadeus. AMADE.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah. This is 5.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that cover before?
No.
Okay. Well, the movie is about Mozart. Hold on. What's the tagline? The tagline for the movie is so fucking sick. I'm not even gonna tell you what the movie like is about. I'll just read the tagline. The tagline says, hold on. Fuck. The tagline: the man, the music, the madness, the murder, the motion picture. And it's about Mozart and the story about how another famous composer like killed him. And it's fucking sick. It's fucking awesome. It's a very good movie. It's like 3 hours long, but it rips. It's not it and it's I know that sounds boring, like a movie about Mozart, whatever, right. But like it's surprisingly funny. It's like genuinely like really funny. It's honestly like, in spite of how long it is, it's good enough for casuals to like grasp, but it's still like try hard, you know? And it's a movie that I'm fairly confident that you would enjoy as well. I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. And it's basically, it's so cool because it's just like Mozart, he's like a real person, but he was like, his power level was so crazy. like the way the movie portrays it is so cool. And the movie's basically just about this guy that like hates him and is so jealous that like Mozart is like so OP. And it's such a great story. And obviously it's not like I think like the general synopsis is like accurate, but obviously like the beat by beat is like not, like accurate, but
right.
Fucking awesome. And when you watch the movie, the poster is like a 10 out of 10 poster. It's such a good poster. I love that movie. It's fucking great. Yeah. So 8 out of 10 on that. That shit was. And then I watched another anime. An anime that I was intending on making a video on. And as soon as I watched it, I was like, this is a movie that I have to tell Manny about. It's called Gungrave. And it's made. Have you heard of Gungrave?
I think so.
Yeah. It's made by Yasuhiro Naito, the guy who did Trigun. It was the thing he did after Trigun. And it was a video game first.
Yeah, I've seen this guy before. Yeah.
It was a video game first, and then and then they made a show on it. And the whole inception of Gungrave is kind of rooted in the success of Trigun. Like, it's one of those things where, like, Trigun was so good, they were like, do you kind of want to just do Trigun again? That's why the dude in that's why his guns look just like the Trigun guns.
Yeah,
kind
they
of.
do.
And Gungrave it's a mafia show. It's a mafia like focused show, and it kind of takes place in like the modern day, and it has like that early 2000s like stank to it, if you know what I mean. Like, it kind of looks like crunchy, and I like that aesthetic a lot. Like, I actually like that, but the writing and like the story is good enough for me to kind of surpass that and make it like kind of charming for me personally. This could go either way. This is a series where I understand why it's not popular, because there's a lot of elements about it that are like kind of generic, but in my opinion, this is a perfect companion piece to Trigun. And if you like Trigun, you owe it to yourself to watch this show. I think it's awesome. But this is one that I'm not 100% confident you'll enjoy. You might think this is mid, or you might like it as much as me. I don't know. But I give it an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. And yeah, that's Gungrave. And those are it. Those are the main ones.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Yeah. What's next?
Well,
for me, I'm probably gonna watch the Ray trilogy.
The Raid?
Ray trilogy. Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars. Okay. Yeah. But Everything Everywhere. Do you want to like talk about that for a second? If you don't have anything to say, it's fine.
I don't. I did. I don't.
Yeah, that's okay. I liked it. I gave it a 10. I enjoy it.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, what is next, Manny? What is next for you besides your A trilogy? What's next for you in life?
What's next for me is, I think I'm gonna dive deep into Batman. I might finish Justice League and watch like Young Justice. I don't know. I'm like in full Batman right now.
Young Justice rips. I love that show.
I know. I see a lot of clips.
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks crazy.
Awesome.
I'm gonna play these Batman games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. After, I got a lot of catching up to do anime for the seasons. After I catch up, I'm probably in, so much shit to watch.
Yeah, there's so much shit to watch, and
it will never end.
It will never end. There's so much shit to watch. It will never end, and that's why I haven't been watching anything, because I'm gonna die one day, and I need to make money so that I can watch shows freely without any guilt, so that I can enjoy them fully, so that I can watch Tar and understand it. I need to be happy. So
yeah.
I'm going back to school. And I'm going to try to make money so that I can be happy again. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody else is doing right now, because I don't talk to anybody. But I'm very curious, like, where other people are in life, because I'm learning now, like, nobody has money. Like, nobody makes money. And most people, like, even if they go to school, don't do anything with their education that like makes them like. So I'm just gonna go to something explicitly with that intent, to, like make bread. And then
it's rough out there.
It's rough out there. Yeah, Manny, I sincerely like need to find someone a roommate with when I move out in like a year or two. You gotta make money so we can move out together.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to school. That's like a trade school by the end of this year.
Oh yeah, and school's free for you.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's baller. That's cool. Yeah, do that. Do a trade. Yeah, I'm doing something that I'm not like passionate about, or to be honest, while studying it, I was kind of enjoying learning about it. But I'm not like passionate about it, but I'm only doing it for money. So look into that. Look at something that's like over, I don't know, 70,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was gonna do dental shit because that's like a go-to for a lot of people. Then I realized they don't make a lot. They don't make them like money.
I don't think they got a lot of job openings either.
Probably not. I don't know. I have a friend who does that, and I was like, "How much do you make an hour?" And she's like, 30. Like 30? That's it? Like, oh my god. I think I've resigned myself to the fact that I'm always gonna have to have roommates. I'm never gonna have a house. I'm never going to, unless I get like lucky with like making movies. That's the other thing, Manny. Like if I want to make a movie, I kind of have to do it like now, like yesterday. So I don't know. If I do something, gonna be some rinky-dink shit on my phone, but I'm gonna make it with passion, and it's gonna be good. And I'm gonna try to do more than just upload it to YouTube. When I went to the film festival, and when I like saw like, I literally bought a Blu-ray the other day of like a movie made by like 19-year-olds. Like when I went to like that film festival, like those people, they made a bag.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised the acceptance that people have. Like obviously in the mainstream, they want your shit to like look pretty, but I kind of understand how it works now and how you like build connections and how to start. And you just got to kind of make something. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to go to film school. You just got to kind of make something, like make anything.
Yeah.
And I mean it sincerely. Like I'm going to die one day and I have to start doing something now. I'm going to be 23 in like 2 weeks. Too old. Too fucking old. I don't know about you, but I like feel like if I'm like 25 and I like don't make a movie, like kind of fail. And I know that there's a lot of people who do that like dream of doing something and kind of never do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna make a conscious effort to do that. If I need your help, we'll ask you.
I got you, brother.
You brother, chocolate brother. Oh man. One of the reasons why I'm feeling this way is because I watched probably like I didn't bring this up because like I don't really even know how to talk about it, but I watched a movie called Synecdoche, New York, and it's the best movie I've ever seen. But it's so depressing and it made me so sad. And it made me kind of think like I got to get my shit together.
What's it called?
Synecdoche, New York. SYNECH. It'll probably pop up.
Yeah.
It is the most try-hard shit I've ever seen, but I understood it. Like I actually like grasped it. You would love it. You'd eat it up.
Dude, honestly, after Sarah experienced Elaine, I'm kind of fried right now.
I understand.
I gotta recharge.
But it'll make you. It'll make yeah. All right, fine. I did watch it while I was high, so maybe that's why. But like, no, it was amazing. Regardless of that, it makes me like the reason why I can't enjoy like try hard things all the time is because like I'm not happy all the time. If I was like happy and I was like my true self like at every given moment, I'd be able to watch that shit in a heartbeat, like with no problems.
Right.
So that's why need to move out. Yeah. Ah, dude. I don't know. Do you like? When do you want to do that? Are you even like move out?
Move out? I don't know.
Thinking about that at all? I feel like I'm not. Not at all.
I think I'm gonna take this house.
You think you'll be able to pay for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't tend to think too far.
Yeah.
Most I think like 6 months ahead at most.
I envy you. That seems
Really?
that seems bliss. The things that the things that I think about and the things that I like always ask you about, like they stress me out all the time. I feel like I'm constantly like anxious that I'm not gonna get the things done that I want to get done.
A lot of I think I'm bliss just because I was in 4 years in the Navy, saved a lot of money.
Okay.
When I was in the Navy, I wasn't going out, I wasn't buying shit, so I was living for free.
Yeah. How much money do you have?
I might have like 22,000.
That's
But
really good.
I have like crypto and shit. They'll probably bring it up to like 30,000.
Oh my god. 30,000. Redeem it now.
I want to. Nah, but
I would. What if it goes down? That'd be so scary.
You don't lose until you pull out.
Until you pull out? No, you win when you pull out. That's
You don't lose either.
Huh?
Until you do. You don't lose until you pull out.
But you but you lose if you go down all the way, and you like.
No, because I like that money, that crypto money. Like once I put that money in there, like it doesn't exist to me anymore. You know what I mean?
I see.
So if I think about it, like it going down to $0.00, I'd be like, oh, I didn't really have it in the first place.
Did you? Okay, that's the best mentality about it. But have you seen The Wolf of Wall Street? No. Oh, okay. The main line in that movie, like the main thing that he says is like, if they pull out, you lost. Like, don't ever let them pull out, because if you pull out, it becomes their money. So like, I don't know. When I watched that movie as a kid, like that, it felt like that movie was telling me like, don't be an idiot. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And I felt so like, when Lewis was like into that shit, Lewis was like, I lost $5,000 on NFTs. I was like, you saw the same movie I did.
Yeah, that was crazy. When he was saying that shit to me, I'm like, I'm gonna act like that's normal.
Bro, it was to him. It really was. Like him and Kevin were like into that shit. Like they lived in a different bubble. I don't know. That
whole NFT time period was so like,
it was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. Oh my god, it was such a fad. Such a fad.
Oh man. Well, yeah. I got a lot of people in my house.
Okay.
That's why I had so many interruptions.
No, it's all right. This was great. We got to talk about it. It was brief.
I know, we was talking for 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. Not as long as the other ones. I think it's pretty good given what we talked about, given what we covered.
Yeah, I feel like this could have easily gone to that longer if we like dove deeper into a lot of, not the movies we just saw, but like the things like we saw in our own time.
Right.
Like if I was talking about Star Wars, I can go on.
Maybe we can talk about that without me even like watching them. We should watch Visions. I still haven't seen Visions.
That shit looks gay. I'm not gonna lie.
Really? I haven't seen any of the trailers. I haven't seen any of the trailers.
I was looking at the thumbnails. And I was like, this isn't anime.
Oh, there are some 3D ones. There are some 3D ones. Have you heard of the show Andor? Everyone gasses that up.
Yeah, but I'm not really interested in watching any of the shows.
Oh, are you gonna watch like the side movies like Rogue One? You should watch Rogue. Oh, really? Rogue One. The plot of Rogue One is how they get the plans for the Death Star, like that scene in the opening of A New Hope, where like like those dudes are like running through the corridor to like try to get the little card thing or whatever to them. That's like the plot of Rogue One.
That's cool.
And yeah, the way they get to that is pretty cool too.
One thing about Star Wars, those movie posters. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. They're all 10 out of 10. Yeah. They're
insane. They are insane. Especially in New Hope and episode 5.
Yeah.
They are insane, dude.
I know.
I love posters.
I love posters too.
You know what? When I was watching The Cat Returns and Howls, I was like, yo, this is so nostalgic. To that time period, that's all we was watching.
When I watched,
I was like, bro, if I ever
think about
I know, like, I'm gonna watch one of these movies far into the future, and I'm like,
yes,
it's like when I was in the Navy, watching TV.
That makes me really happy.
It's like we created our own nostalgia.
Yeah, literally. There's like, whenever I kind of watch like anime, like I think about this because like I never watch anime anymore. Yeah. This is fun. I'm gonna make an effort to keep this going in some fashion at least once a year because I think this is effective. Like, yeah. There wasn't even anything coming out. We'll do another one for Oppenheimer. You and I will see Oppenheimer. We'll talk about it. I'm gonna go see Barbie. I saw a clip from the Barbie movie and it like unironically looks kind of good. Like, honestly.
When does that shit come out?
Same day as Oppenheimer, July 21st. Double feature. I'm probably going to go see Barbie with like one of my female friends, and then I'll see Oppenheimer with you. So I'll probably see them on different days.
If you say Barbie's good, I'll go watch it.
Okay. I mean, my definition of a good Barbie movie, I wonder, I don't know. I genuinely like the ditzy, like, I wear my makeup, like, type of characters in, like, movies. I don't know. They're cool. It's like, I don't know. If it was like a guy, it's just like someone that thinks that they're sexy as fuck and like knows it and just happy with them. And that's like why I'm excited for Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you got to go. Probably wrap this up.
Ali,
all right.
Thank you for your time, brother.
No problem. Thank you for yours. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good rest of your week and a good rest of your month. And we will talk again very soon.
All right, brother.
All right.
See you.
Deuces.